Pipalook doesn't know much about the cities. If you were to ask her, she will tell you that they are loud and busy and odd. The people dress and talk in ways that she is not familiar with, and though it hasn't happened yet, it feels as if she could be lost in the crowds and never again see a familiar face. It is in cities that she most longs for home, to return to a land of ice, mountains, and magic so strong the air seems to shimmer with it. She longs for her people, the Furtimen, a nomadic tribe who have traveled the taiga for countless generations. She longs for the Skogoranda, the dense, evergreen forest that seems to stretch as far as the eye can see. She longs for Ashera. She longs for home. In cities, Pipalook is out of her element. She, who can tell from a shifting wind that a blizzard will soon fall upon them. She, who can track deer through summer marshes without losing her quarry or herself. Cities are not where she belongs. But she cannot return home, not yet. The Skogoranda has been corrupted. The trees now leach a black sap that sicken all who touch it. If she does nothing, the sickness will eventually claim Ashera's heart. The forest will die. That cannot happen. Pipalook will not allow it to happen. So she has traveled south, seeking information, seeking hope, to stop what is happening to her home. She finds herself in the employ of a benefactor, amid new companions, and facing a future that is still uncertain.
To call him lifeless would be an insult, as Unido is full of life. Possessed with a power that is not yet understood by Unido, he has allied himself with a group of travelers. Travelers who find Unido to be quite the enigma. Faceless, the wooden figure on occasion frightens those less accustomed to the macabre. This doesn't stop Unido from engaging with albeit a childlike whimsy. Emotionless, Unido refuses to hearken to words of wisdom, as he does not quite understand social normalcies surrounding him. No eyes, but he sees. No ears, but he hears. No mouth, he does not speak. Proving to be a formidable ally, Unido will aid the party in the best way he knows how. Click-clack, click-clack. Wooden feet tap on wooden floorboards. A figure moves through hallways. You attempt to see their face and are reluctant when there isn't one. They are searching for someone and don't appear to relent. Click-clack, click-clack, sword and shield. Click-clack, click-clack. The only breath you hear is yours. Click-clack, click-clack. Its imposing shadow. Click-clack, click-clack. Its hand opens the door. Click-clack, click-clack. Buttons fall to the floor. Click-clack, click-clack.
Born and raised in Falstaff, Eric's Rhymewing enjoyed a comfortable childhood. He grew up with a small family of 5. His devout mother, Desarabia, was a beauty of icy ancestry, with her pale blue skin and dark black hair. His father, Skamos, a stern but fair man, dedicated to his work and making sure his family had all the comforts the utopia of the timeless could offer. And his 2 younger sisters, twins, Para and Pira, were wickedly smart and fiendishly loyal to their older brother. To pass the time, he worked as a shop clerk for a merchant in the heart of the Golden Display, the city's market district. He enjoyed a simple and affluent life, but his life didn't really begin until it ended. A seemingly normal day in his 17th year ended in fire and smoke as an unexplained explosion rocked the Golden Display. Many were lost, Eric's included. The Rhymewing family held a funeral, they mourned their loss, and went about their lives as best they could. Barely 2 days after they had said their goodbyes, their formerly dead son returned to their doorstep, very much alive, spouting off nonsense about black wings. For some time they accepted him, kept him hidden, and continued life as if everything was normal. As time went on, however, his parents became more and more fearful of what their son had become, as he sought out information that was forbidden in Falstaff, things having to do with religion and death. One day, just after his 18th name day, a group of Amber Guard came to their home to arrest the heretic. In a flurry of frantic emotion, a confused Eryx called out to his family as the guards attempted to subdue him. He fought harder at the sight of his sister's terrified faces peeking around a corner. Cold electric energy burst from his hands and arced around the room. The home was engulfed in flame before he was even out the door. His race to freedom eventually led him to Port Mirheti, to a temple of the Raven Queen, where he began his learning. While keeping the Queen's balance, he would receive visions from his patron. He owed her his life, after all, so he had no choice but to heed these calls to action. Eryx became an instrument of faith, and those fated to pass beyond the veil would be watched over to make sure no outside forces intervened. In the case of intervention, Eryx would be dispatched to carry out fate's design and maintain the necessary balance between life and death. The visions were formulaic and simple. They were all the same, until they weren't. Now his patron was sending him off on a different path, one towards someone very much alive. Eryx set off in search of another acolyte, one of Sehanine. The Queen warned him of an impending darkness, and to seek out assistance in the battles to come.
Raoul Renaud Rousseau was born into the academic world of Continuar. Growing up in the Brass Gardens, his father kept Raoul close to the influence of Sarama's Imperial University. A sickly child, Raoul spent much of his time in the university's library reading all he could on Giantkin. His imagination ran free among their might, hoping one day he could be as powerful as they. Sadly, his childhood would be riddled with misfortunes. Illness quickly claimed the life of his mother. In his adolescence, a terrible accident would crush him in both body and spirit. Raoul, finding the sorrows of his life to be too great, began to be swallowed by this darkness. Months would pass, and even with his closest friends by his side, nothing could break the sadness that had engulfed him. Unable to watch his ailing son fade away just as his mother had, Raoul's father spoke words of wisdom, hoping to bring his son back to him. Giants stand tall not because of magic or might, but of the resilience in their soul. Though you may not be as tall, you can step as they do, as long as you are willing to first stand. From the love of those around him, Raoul was inspired to move forward. Day by day it was a struggle to endure. The scars of his past remained, but there was more life for him to live. Returning to an ordinary life, he would enroll to study archaeology at the Saraman Imperial University. This led Raoul to an opportunity of a lifetime. Thracentorp, a frost giant fortress in Talapalaran, was excavated for the first time. Experts and expeditions from all over Erelaya flocked to the discovery. Traveling with his professors as a field assistant, Raoul journeyed for months, and being one of the first groups to arrive, they quickly ventured forward. But one mistake, deep into the icy remains of the fortress, proved almost fatal. Waking up in caverns separated from the rest of the expedition, Raoul walked deeper into the mountain until he came upon a throne hall. The sight, a graveyard of giants slayed and scattered across the room, their leader dead upon his throne. Pierced through him, a mysterious axe was embedded in the king's neck. The scene of gore was timeless in the ice as Raoul felt a pull for the first time. A call, a compulsion, a beacon. Coming from the axe, it laid, waiting to be found, and Raoul, by chance, was the one to find it.
While most little girls played with dolls and dreamed of princes and castles, Velifera Zanister spent her formative years amongst the dead and dying. Though most may see this as a cruel and morbid upbringing, as a moon elf from the city of Mortos Lagos, it was an honor. It was an even higher honor to become a daughter of the night sky. For her final trial, she was cast into the rainforest of Fola Morta. Velifera spent weeks seeking the guidance from Sehanine. Where life grew strong, she found the pull of death, silent and omnipresent as the moon lurking in its shadow. But from within the shadow, she came upon what she was sent to find. Now with her newfound jaguar familiar, Navarre, Vaceran is sent by the daughters to perform their rituals, bringing comfort to those in need of her. Although her presence can be unsettling, her empathy and compassion outweighs first impressions. And while the nature of her work has led her to travel alone, becoming unaccustomed to the social graces of others, her loyalty to her new friends is unending. After all, it is nice to be amongst the living while dealing with the dead.
Growing old is not as easy as one might assume. Few know this reality more intimately than that of one Roy Kotor. Born of a noble family in the city of Lofschloss, his mother Lily passed away while Roy was a young boy. Questionable circumstances surrounding her death caused Roy's father Archibald to focus on unraveling the mystery. With each thread and piece of evidence revealed, it slowly drew his father mad until he too was lost. Roy now had more questions than answers and a household full of family heirlooms, most notably a journal that his father kept. Upon reading the journal, Roy realized that there was nothing left for him in Lofschloss. With a deteriorating estate, Roy sold most of his material belongings, keeping only what he had left on himself. Choosing to take on the road, Roy honed his skills in cards and other games of chance, as well as a long-term relationship with the always lovely Lady Liquor. Delving even further into his father's journal, Roy took notice of other aspects of himself that were coming into finer clarity. Abilities, wants. Now Roy travels the road trying to find where he fits into the world at large.
Hello, and welcome to A Vaceran Dream. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Patrick Clayton. I wrote a question mark. I don't know. I'd like to... this is a lot. This is heavy, man. We're doing this. We're going live. This is amazing. I want to, first off, say thank you for tuning in. This is our very own Twitch channel, A Vaceran Dream. We did it. Took us forever, but we got here. So thank you and welcome. Now, going forward, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that we will be doing multiple D&D related content for you, the viewers. All of it will fall in line with our fantasy D&D style. Now, this show in particular is our flagship show called A Vaceran Dream. It's amazing. We named it. Yeah. It's like a little baby. Sorry. Now, you can tune in every Sunday at 4 p.m. This is the exception to the rule. This is our premiere episode, so we went a little extra. We're giving you a little bit more. But going forward, we're going to start at 4 p.m. every Sunday, live on Twitch. Also, we will have our videos available on YouTube following the week after. We'll figure out how that works. You can find us on YouTube. Currently, we don't have our YouTube name up there yet, but we will. We're working on it. Now, before we get started, I just want to introduce you to a few of my friends here that are going to help me helm and get this channel campaign, all this stuff going. I'm just going to let them do it. I'm Amber.
I'm Amber Thomas. I'll be playing Pibluke, the Paladin.
I'm James Hopkins. I'll be playing Unido, a mannequin mystic.
I'm Anna Grace. I'm playing Eric's Rhinewing, the Warlock.
I am William Nagara, and I'm playing Ral, the Hexblade Warlock.
I'm Dakota, and I'm playing Vaceran, the Grave Cleric.
And I'm Corey Chichok, and I'm playing Roy, the Fighter.
Now, we here at Vaceran Dream would like to give a special recognition to some organizations that have helped us get this far. First and foremost, a awesome, amazing dice company, Easy Roller Dice Company. They have supplied to us these awesome dice trays and some amazing dice. Please, if you can, give them a look over. They are at easyrollerdiceco.com. Also, with that note, we would like to let you know that we are going to be doing a giveaway here during our break. All of you who are watching, all of our followers, you helped us get to a goal that we were looking to reach, and we are going to be giving out 2 dice trays at our break. So stick around and see if you are chosen at random. It's me.
Follow us.
Absolutely, do follow us. Also, I'm going to hand it over to James here. There's another sponsor that we'd like to give some recognition to.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Glass Cabinet Hobbies for providing us with some D&D miniatures that we will use on the stream. So be sure to check out their website at glasscabinethobbies.com to pick up the latest set of Dungeon Dragon miniatures.
Hot diggity damn. Also, we'd like to give a special shout out to an organization that is local to us, but we'd like to see on a national level, Sustainable Families Foundation. This is a great organization that we will be working with in the future to help them raise some money for their cause. They do great work within the community, looking to educate young adults, children, and adults in that of agriculture. They also do have a sustainable farm that they utilize to help those less fortunate in their neighborhood. So if you can, please give them a look over on sustainablefamiliesfoundation.org. Great organization and some really close friends of ours. I think... Oh man, did you guys see, like at the beginning, character intros?
Yeah.
Wow! Amazing artwork. Give a shout out, Carolina Abrantes. Did some great work for us. Also, we would love to give a big shout out to the guy on the other side of the cameras here, Austin Moore. He is everything you see. It's him. He's killing it. He hasn't slept yet, so we're gonna try to get through this real quick so he can get a nap in. So please bear with us. I think I've spoken enough about all of our fun stuff. Everybody feel good? This is great. Are you guys ready on the other end there? That's awesome. You didn't have to say it. I know. I can feel it. So I'm going to give a little bit... I talk too much. Welcome to Vaceran. A single rock floating through vastness of space, dormant and without purpose. It was on a single day before recorded time that 3 planar rifts opened on the surface of this world. Separated by the seas, 3 large continents were exposed to the life and energy that pulsated from these rifts. The continent of Nyantha, now the existing ambassador to the elemental planes, wrought with mystery and elegance of dynasties that rule this untamed land. The continent of Miyahoshi saw the presence of Mount Celestia procure dominion over the radically diverse terrain. Seen as the birthplace of the devout for both good and evil. And lastly, the continent of Erelaya, a landscape painted with the brushes of the Feywild, and unfortunately in colors of purple hues of undeath, crimson blood of an unending cold war, the stark white of discovery, and the yellows and greens of tainted lands. Now, if you seek secrets, adventure, glory, and an ascension from pain, look no further, and welcome to Erelaya. Now, we started our intrepid adventurers started their adventure in the city of Cariad, a university city where they met a benefactor, an individual by the name of Dovavar Van Boren. He is a half-elven individual, very colorful. Introduced himself to each one of the party members, and in exchange for knowledge on bits and pieces of your background, he only asked that you go on adventures for him. Live the life that he once lived, and maybe bring back some of the spoils. He would happily pay for this just to occur. So, with that, greeting you, meeting you, he sent you on a journey. 30 days journey. You traveled north to a town, a hamlet by the name of Claythorpe. It was here that you were exposed to a few interesting scenarios, and upon discovering there was an infestation, you felled said infestation and made sure that the people of the town were safely absconded to another village. This is when you actually met a current party member who approached you in the snowstorm that riddled this town. Upon becoming successful and helping these people to safety, you found yourselves standing at the threshold of Claythorpe, attempting to leave, packing up what goods you could from the wreckage of the town. You know that you have to head back to Cariad, and for some of you, quickly. You stand here now in the early morning sunlight. It is cold. It is cold. What are you doing?
All right, so just to confirm, we haven't left Claythorpe yet, or
you are
like
physically standing at the threshold. If you look in the distance, you see your about 9 or so individuals that you have given money. They have some sort of security, and they are heading to the northwest, where you believe that they will be heading to another adjacent town. And you stand there, outside of Claythorpe.
Okay, then I'm gonna turn to Roy and say, hey, do we have the wagon ready to go?
It's been ready all morning.
Alright, then let's just find everyone and just get going.
Alright. Start feeling asleep again.
So as the wagon is prepared, the goods procured, Pipalook, I believe you did scrounge up some things through the town. All of you have your 2 horses still. Your wagon is prepared, and you are prepared to leave town. Who is steering this wagon?
Near you.
I can do it if you want to take a nap.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
he'll pull out a little.
Seeing that he's already getting into his morning drink, I will sit up at the front and.
All right. So at this point, Pipalook, as you get towards the front of this wagon, you stand up and place your foot and position yourself. As you step up, for my beautiful audience, what do we see?
All right, she is a tall, dark-skinned human woman, very athletically built. In the winter snow, she's wearing heavy hides and furs. Her hair is braided and has like hundreds of tiny braids that come in. You can see that her armor and herself is decorated with bits of bone that has been carved into little designs, and she does have like strings of berries and things around her, and she has a pack on her back. She definitely looks like she comes from a very cold and hostile environment.
Okay. You position yourself, grab the reins. Just roll me an animal handling check to see if you can make sure these horses don't...
First live roll.
Yeah, that's a 4. Plus 2. So 6 altogether.
All right. You grab the reins, maybe a little too taut. They jerk a little bit. Roy positions his hat on his head just about to sleep, and it pops up into his lap. And he maybe raises an eyebrow as maybe it was a poor decision to let you steer the horse.
I stick my leg out, and just with my boot, I readjust the reins a little bit, and then go back to sleep.
Thank you.
At this point, the rest of the party, you do see, you are positioned in the rear of the wagon.
I'll be right next to her.
Right next to her up in the front. As you position yourself with your adornments, what do we see?
We see a very fair-skinned, rosy-cheeked human male, dressed in turn-of-the-century, rather industrial revolution garb, big high-brim top hat, gentleman's clothing, very nice, brown with a green inlaid vest and a polo. It's got some wear on it. It's seen some days outside of the city. He's got mutton chops that come down and then stop here to an over-the-top mustache, and he's currently sleeping off some whiskey.
All right.
While co-piloting.
So you position a hat over your face. There is still the morning sun. The wind does cut. A little bit of cloud coverage, but nothing that's going to warrant any precipitation from what you can glean here. As the rest of the party does show up, you do see Pipalook and Roy on the cart. Who's approaching and who's maybe looking back at the town?
I'm going to go straight to the back of the cart.
Okay.
And I would like to assume that I'm walking with Eric's, just because we're
So,
companions now.
As
Not like the rest of us.
So as you do step up, you see the very tall individual standing next to yourself, and then off to the side, I'm assuming your
Navarre is right next to my side.
Jaguar.
A jaguar.
Positions itself next to you, walking up. Rather large animal, I would assume. For the audience, what are they looking at?
I'll start with Navarre. Navarre is a jaguar that's kind of more lighter tone. It's not like that goldeny yellow, like a tan color. And his spots kind of have an oil slick sheen to them. So as he moves through the light, they kind of pulsate. They look like they're definitely alive on his body. And he jumps up into the cart with like crazy ease. Like it doesn't even look real. Like he just floated into the cart. And my character, Villafera, has cool tone gray skin with a little cast of pink across her cheeks. She's a moon elf, but what's really strange is she doesn't have her facial markings like most moon elves have. Her hair is long and in a braided kind of like side style, and it's lavender with a darker root. She doesn't look heavily armored. It doesn't look like she's wearing armor at all, just fabrics wrapped around herself. And you can't see any weapons visibly on her. They're kind of tucked away if she has any at all. Thigh-high black boots, long dark cape, and she's about 5'5".
So you step in towards the back of the wagon. Are you getting into the back of the wagon?
Yeah.
All right. So immediately you see Navarre jump up with ease. You grab up and you pull yourself in. A bit of mud on your boot, and you pull yourself up. You're fairly athletic individual, so not hard at all. At this point is when you stand. You almost stand as tall as the individual that stands next to you with the. I'm not going to say it. You say it.
So Eric's is a 6'3" male tiefling. He is cool blue, very light blue skin, but then towards his extremities, like his hands, his feet, his tail, and his horns, it ombres into a dark blue to almost black. And his horns come from his forehead up and back a little bit, and then straight up into spirals. And they do come to full black at the tip. And his hair is very long, almost waist length, in a braid to his side. And he's wearing all black, kind of muted. It looks really simple from afar, just a couple of like leather accents on the shoulders or along the front, but there's a very fine geometric pattern to it. And then he also has a cloak that doesn't look like anything as well, but has hundreds, if not more, of these embroidered feathers on the inside that catch the light much like a raven's wings would. And he's wearing knee-high boots that look like they've seen better days, but he polishes them well enough. And on his shoulder you see a raven that just looks like a normal raven, but perhaps it has a little bit more wisdom to his eyes than you might think. But yeah. Oh, his right eye is white and his left eye is black.
Not creepy at all.
Perfectly normal.
So as you do you step up into the cart?
Yes.
All right. And then you see this very tall, slender individual position themselves in the cart next.
Is the cart covered?
It is.
Yes.
It is
anymore.
It is covered. Actually, with a bit of coin, and a bit of persuasion, Mr. Couture did procure a bit of canvas over your cart, so you are. So you guys are not exposed to the elements as much. It is still for those that it matters to, it is cold. For the rest of you,
I got magic for that.
Yeah. So standing outside, still as the rest of most of the party is on the wagon. Two individuals stand just outside. What is it that what are you doing as the rest of are getting onto this cart?
So you'll see me 1 minute behind whoever was last. I assume that you two will. You will be last.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you go first. And
I am double and triple checking all my bags to make sure everything is there before I set off from this town.
Anything in particular you're looking for?
Make sure the box is there.
Okay.
The lid box. Definitely make sure it's there.
No, you're good. It's the lid.
Yeah, make sure all my just different knickknacks and trinkets that are in the bag that I came with are still there.
Okay.
Basically, what my character looks like is he seems average human male, He has side cut black hair. It goes shoulder length on one side. There used to be a braid that separated where the buzz started and the long hair was, but after a month it kind of fell out. He wears a chain on top of his chain armor. He wears blacks and purples of a tailcoat, and over the time he's procured a couple things like a black with gold trim cape, and always on him is a haversack sized bag that crests through the front that is also a bandolier in the front. So he has also acquired black pupilless eyes as of late, and his build's more of a smaller 5'10" frail individual. He's not very muscular at all.
And as you enter the back of the wagon, okay, and then last but not technically last, but
Yeah, so a minute behind you come out, you do see me. I'm exiting the tavern. My arms are just filled with just random junk. I have a chair that's dangling from one arm. I got a barrel on there. I got like table mats. I took silverware in the hands and stuff like that. I'm just starting to walk over to the cart.
And what do we see? What do we see as you approach?
So you see a very... At first, it just looks like a normal person. Very thin, 5'11", wearing basic farmer's clothes, the classic. At this moment, it's a white polo with blue overalls.
Because of acquisitions, yes.
And a nice farmer's hat on top. But as anyone gets closer to him, you'll see that my skin isn't skin, it's wood. As Unido, my character's name, is a wooden mannequin. So I come through and I'm carrying all this junk because we cleared the whole city of people, so
that sounds bad.
Yeah, right.
Well, as you approach Unido, it's when all of you hear a voice that screams out of the wagon, there's no room for that in here. And you all look and see seated the young woman known as Marceline, dark long hair, the skin almost pale blue, and wearing her long, we'll say, robes with some sort of pointed hat that goes off to a crook. And she looks and she says, "There's no room for this. Pippaluke's carcass is on the ground in here." And this, as is pointed out, Eric's and Velafer, you do take notice of this carapace of this bug-like entity that is inside the back of this wagon. Probably a good portion of the wagon is this carapace.
Like the acid carapace?
Yep.
Is it burning through the cart?
No, she cleaned it.
Okay, alright.
But yeah, she looks, she says, "There's no room."
I kind of look down at my hands, and I drop one of the forks.
Oh.
She sighs, rolls her eyes, and looks away.
I just start pushing it all in there.
Yeah. Almost very much like you guys with the like a barricade. You guys are shoved into the back of this wagon. At this point, Pippaluke and Roy, you already.
Turn around. That's a fire hazard.
Pippaluke is at this point, you know that you are clear to begin the trek. You know you're heading south, and you have quite a bit of days of travel ahead of you. Easily enough, the day passes. You do see some of the land as you saw before as you were heading north. Nothing really catches your eye too much. As the sun does begin to set a little quicker as the winter months are settling in. Is at this point is when you do take notice, and most of you would have already seen these, when the sun begins to set, you do take notice of the two moons in the sky. I'm assuming, Pippaluke, you would know it might be time to camp. The wagon stops all of you in the back. Shifts a little bit with the 4 animal handling. Yes, the car is packed, and yeah. So, as you unload out of the wagon, if you'd like to roll me a survival check to see if you can find a place to camp out.
Yeah.
Anyone assisting?
I'll assist.
Pippaluke?
Awesome.
All right.
Cool, that's 5.
Ooh, these are the good rolls.
That's a 6.
12? All right. So you managed not to... you find a decent enough spot. Roy points out, like, that's a cow patty. That's a cow patty there.
So let's set it on the cow patty. And that way we hear in the night, we know something's coming.
It's funny though because people you would know that these cow patties, these are great fire starters.
Right,
So you start to throw this cow shit on the fire to get the fire going. So
I move over the chair and barrel.
Marceline steps out. What stinks? But you make your way around, and you have this fire off the. There's really no path or road this far north, or if there is, you haven't found it. But the night is yours. What would you choose to do on the 24th of Halig Mortis?
I'd like to observe the skies.
Look into the sky. Look into the sky. Perception check. What would you like to do?
In a clear area, in a relatively clear area on the ground, I'd like to lay out first for people to sleep on, just to have like a little comfy area by the fire. And then around us, I will take the bits of bark that I have, and fir needles, and I will set up a perimeter and I will cast alarm. Okay, so you walk around and you begin to break up your bark, and exactly as you suggested. What are you designating? Anything that is not us that crosses that perimeter, will set off the alarm in my head.
Okay.
So we can pass freely.
All of you begin to see people walk around you and begin to place twigs and sprigs and pieces of wood all around you in a circle. As you look up to the sky, Navarre nestles next to you, seated. What is it that you were looking at?
A 9.
You see stars, and you see the 2 moons in the sky.
Cool. I love that.
Let's get above 10, guys.
Mr. Couture and the rest of you, what is it that you choose to do with your little bit of respite after the morning that you've had?
I take the chair, set it down, take the barrel, set it down in front of that, almost like a table, put a little table mat on top of it, do 3/4 of a table set, because I'm going to toss the knife, toss the fork, and then play a little cup there.
Okay.
And I kind of kind of present it to somebody.
For my own sinister mind, roll me a performance check.
11.
That's a decent table setup. Yeah, it's a decent table. Minus the fork, it looks pretty good. Which again, as you watch the wooden man do this, it's no less creepy than if you would have seen Roy or anyone else do it. But you watch this wooden man do a table, essentially a table setup. It's weird. The rest of you, what would you like to do?
Seeing as Eric's is new, I would like to play chess with him for about an hour for my insight training.
Okay.
I will observe. I want to see if there's any tells.
Okay.
Between both of them.
Oh, so roll me a deception check and roll me an insight check.
It's a deception check?
Yeah.
19.
13.
Okay. Yeah, you catch no tells. It's very similar to the other games you played. You think you got him on the ropes. Yeah.
No, he's beating me every single time we play cards.
I just can't figure out your tells, though.
It's because I'm playing chess right now on that card. So.
It's not like gambling with just pure luck.
It's at this point, Marceline. I'm sorry, Eric's. What would you be doing?
I guess playing chess, but.
Okay.
What is the silverware made out of? Can I inspect the metal?
Yeah, you investigation check on the metal.
Investigation, so a dirty 20.
Yeah, it's a silver.
It's silver?
Yeah.
It's
probably stolen from the manor house that you went to.
May I use the knife, please? You may not get it back. And I'm going to go over to the fire. I'm going to put it into my smelting kit and melt down the silver.
Okay.
And make silver bullets.
Okay, so you're going
won't be powdered,
to. All right. So after the chess game, you begin the smelting.
Yeah.
Okay. Very much. Yeah. Roll me tinkering check.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make I know it's not going to be a finished product. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Tinkering is going to be a total of 8.
8. Yeah. You scorch it.
All right.
It's unusable. You're lucky you get it out of your kit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. A lot of cursing.
We're just like playing chess, and all of a sudden you just turn around.
Eric, what would you be doing?
Kind of not really paying attention to the chess match that much. I kind of want to just scan the horizon and see if there's any light in the distance or movement or anything of that nature.
Perception check.
And Rael's on my shoulder, so that increases that, right?
Sure.
I think.
Yeah, you have your statistics there, yeah. 15. Nothing catches your eye for a brief second, briefly, and it seems some distance away. You think you might have saw a flicker of light, and then it's immediately gone.
Back to chess, then.
I'm just gonna ask Eric's about themselves since they're completely brand new to all of us.
Before you do this, Marceline steps up and she says, you want me to look at some stuff? I can pass time.
I mean, I don't really have anything new right now.
I'll bring up the spoon. Drop it in her hand.
It is not okay.
It is the token symbol of the silver spoon crucible.
That is not canon.
She will approach you then, being that you did pick up the scroll case. Well, can I look at these?
Yeah, please, by all means.
Okay. She looks down and begins to sift through all of these scrolls that you have procured.
I will be watching.
And I didn't mean to interrupt that amazing conversation.
No, you're good. I was like, so you said you're from Valstaff?
That's correct.
That place is kind of weird. With the whole,
I wouldn't argue with that.
That whole rock thing. What's that deal?
I mean, it was definitely the religion of my family, but I didn't really partake in much or hold much stock in it.
So it's optional. It's not like everyone there has to be a rock band.
I mean, it's not technically optional.
It's copyrighted.
It's not optional. I mean, it's optional in the sense that they won't like stone you through the streets for not believing it. If you come in with some other religion, they'll probably have something to say about that.
Okay, that's it's kind of shitty, but
I mean, I did leave.
I mean, one man's trash is another man's treasure. The whole city hasn't left, so I'm assuming there's got to be something that's good there.
Still looking for it.
Yeah, and then I'll just keep on playing chess.
Okay.
For an hour, by the way. For the
Can I try
totals.
to beat his ass at chess?
Oh.
Yeah, as you hear Roy step away and begin smelting and cursing, you go ahead and roll me opposed deception insight.
Okay, so who's deception and who's insight?
You tell me.
Well, I guess I'm doing insight trading, so I guess you have 3 deception.
Okay.
That's accurate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So that's an 8 total.
8 plus 6, so whatever.
Okay.
14.
All right. Yes, you do manage to beat him at chess.
You're really good at that, you know?
Listen.
And then he burns himself.
Yeah, right?
This was a gift from a friend, so I kind of get a little homesick.
I can feel that.
Ask for beating you.
Marceline steps. As some hours pass before you guys turn in for the night, Marceline does step up and she says, "These are pretty intense scrolls. I'd love to take, well, all of them. That would help me with my college credits here."
Well, what do we got? What are we working with?
She will. I'm gonna hand these over to you.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of scrolls. I thought it was like 2.
No, there was a couple. You guys found. There was a haul. Okay.
I won't read it.
So you look over that, and Roy and Marceline look over these. The night is had, unless somebody wants to do anything else.
Those books that I got from Etherus Manor.
Mm-hmm. You're playing chess.
For an hour.
Okay.
Because unless you want me to.
No. You want to look
going into sleep time at this point.
Yeah, I'll just look for a little bit. I'm not gonna look
Okay. So, who is taking watches?
I'll take the first watch.
I can take all of them. Because as a mannequin, I don't need sleep.
No, that's fine.
So
So
as long as I don't move. For
who's taking first watch?
So I'll take that back. I'll sleep, and then during my watch, I'll read the book.
That's completely fine. So who's taking first watch?
I take first watch.
Thank you.
With Unido.
And who's taking second?
I'll take second.
Also me.
And third.
I'm
I'll take
also
third.
going to be awake for third.
And me too. 'Cause
Okay.
Just every once in a while rolling over and just seeing Unido just standing there. Just,
it is very
it's
accurate. So
unfortunate.
I kind of go to one spot. I just stare out. Another time, start staring at the party. Another time, I stare and watch over somebody.
Well, first watch. I need you to make me some perception checks.
I pull out my glass.
Yeah, your little shard of quartz or whichever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I am going to use that to negate the dark vision penalty.
Yes. Dark vision penalty.
Yeah.
Cool. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
4.
There's a point where you're staring at Unido. And you're like, are you even watching? And you are so focused on Unido, you pay attention to nothing else around you.
That one -1.
Nice. Eventually, the second watch is prepared. Velafera, Navarre, and Unido. I'm assuming Pippa, you would awake Velafera for her watch. If you'd like to roll me perception checks on your second watch.
Not 2.
So great.
-1.
It's 12.
A 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. You take notice of your surroundings. It's cool out. You get a little bit of your breath. You see the 2 moons in the sky. Nothing else really catches your eye. Again, you pan over and you see creepy Unido is locked in some sort of place. And you're not even sure if you're watching alone or what.
Can I pray?
If
Real
you'd like
quick?
to. What would you like to pray?
I would like to ask for protection in our traveling days.
Okay. Roll me a religion check.
Ah. Sorry, I can't read. Hang on. 18.
18. We'll say you do feel a very close connection as the 2 moons are in the sky. In this northern night you are currently in. You feel confident that you will be protected, but there's a piece of you that feels unsure of the road ahead.
Okay.
Navarre, as you do your prayer, nestles behind you, trying to keep you a bit of warm, and himself as well. Third watch is had. You would wake up. Oh, you stay awake, and Unido does Unido, and eventually, I'm assuming somebody wakes Raoul up because he did mention he wanted to take a watch. You would see your 2 other individuals awake. Roll me perception checks.
All right.
17.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perception 12. It's -1.
Okay. Unido, your head cocks a little bit out to the north. You swear you see a flicker of light, and it's gone. Morning is here.
I want to read the book while I'm awake for third watch.
Okay. Well, it explains to 12. All right. So you have 5 books procured from, or you have 3 of the 5 books. I believe 2 were
Yeah.
procured by Mr. Kotor.
So they can only carry.
Yeah, they're decent tomes, and you and Mr. Kotor aren't exactly the most athletic. Yes, you do. As you look them over, roll me an investigation check.
Okay. Before I choose which one to start reading, do any of them seem to be chronological at all, or is like one seem older?
Roll me an investigation.
This one have pictures, This one.
Yeah, right.
Easier read.
Oh, investigation.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's 10, straight 10.
All right, easily enough. You take notice. Nothing chronological. They are all sorts of different types of books on different subjects. What we'll say, at the 3 you grabbed, you have. Let me see. You see one in the language that you are not familiar with, but seems. I'm sorry. You do not cannot read, but are familiar with the text. You're assuming it's Elvish, as seen it written down, but you do not speak Elvish, so you do not know what it says. You do see one that is just has the initials GE on it, and you see another one that is very much blatantly says the history of Claythorpe.
Okay, I'm gonna dive into the GE one because I'm assuming that's Goddard Etheris or something on him. And I'm going to fast forward to the back of the book to see if I can find anything about him making a pact.
Oh, you flip to the back of the book. Roll me an investigation check.
Whew, that's better. That's 21.
21. Nothing about pacts. This is his diary, and what you glean. You see some rather sultry information about himself and a young woman by the name of Freya. How he was deeply in love with this woman, and she was betrothed to another. He planned on leaving and heading on another adventure, and that is where the book ends.
Seeing him reading the books, I'll take the other 2 too.
You're asleep.
Oh, okay. I thought this was after the dog.
You're good.
Okay.
You're asleep. But that is what you take note. This is his full diary. And
just quick, because I guess I'm missing something up. Goddard Etherith was the guy who owned the manor, and then Backcroft was the one in the mausoleum, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, side of backwards. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, Goddard was the one that owned the manor.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool. Thanks.
Now, reading through, this is mostly some of his day to day, some of his adventures that he had went on. You do take with the 21. You flip through. You see mentions of other continents that you have not been on. Mayantha, Miyahoshi, the Dressian Isles, places that you've only read about in your schooling, but have never been to. But he seems very well traveled, and again, you do see different scripts written, notes kept, some languages that you notice, others that you are very unfamiliar with. But yeah, very extensive. You would probably need to read it again to,
Do I skim the whole way through, or do I only read the first couple of whatever?
Well, you said you flip to the back, you read the back, and then you flip through and see. But
right,
for
so
you to get an extensive, this is a tome. This is a novel, that he has written. This is his most of his life, most of his adult life, we'll say, is written in this book on these pages. But yeah,
life is in your hands.
Yeah,
Right?
more or less. We'll say as you do read this, the sun does crest the horizon, and it is morning. You are at the 25th, and you wake up, you prepare. I'm assuming somebody gets some sort of meal together. Roy drinks his, and
Smoothie.
I'll cook breakfast.
goes down. So breakfast is breakfast is cooked, and the wagon is loaded. I'm assuming somebody's taking care of the horses. All the stuff back in.
Is there a way to break down the carapace in a more efficient manner, or are you saving it whole for a reason?
I can look over it. I was hoping to craft armor from it. It was quite a creature to bring down.
And it's essentially she has the equivalent of a crab shell in the back of it. Very large crab shell.
If I look over it, how long does it look like it would take to cut it into armor-sized pieces?
Wisdom check.
Oh, cool. 16.
16. With some assistance, and the right blade probably sharpened enough, you could probably do it within half a day.
Okay.
But it would have to be a half day straight, no travel. Yeah.
Great. Maybe if Roy, you're handy with weapons and armor, perhaps with some help, you could help me break it down.
Sure, I can give it a shot.
But it's gonna take some time. We'll have to travel with it for a little bit longer, I'm afraid.
Quite all right.
Okay. So the wagon loaded up again. I'm assuming that's the point, you load all this furniture towards the front of the wagon.
Yep.
Yeah. That's,
We're heading south, right?
you are heading south.
Okay.
Everyone gets on the wagon, and Mr. Couture, you take your scrolls and put them back in the case.
Yeah, I do. Marceline, let's discuss this as the weeks go.
Yeah, well, there's a lot.
There is a lot.
I have a whole, and she pulls out her spell book.
Perhaps a trade.
What?
What? We'll talk more,
We will.
Mr. Couture. And she hops in the wagon. The rest of you hop in the wagon. Roy and Pipalook in the front.
Would you like to drive them? I had a little bit of issue yesterday.
Yeah, that's fine. I've only had a couple sips.
Whole glass. One whole glass.
Survival, that's a 15.
15. Animal handling.
Animal handling. Uh-oh.
That's a 10.
That's a 13.
Hey, you're good. You're good. They take a little bit more kindly to you. You're a little less aggressive. We'll say not. You weren't. Yeah.
Rage wagon over here.
The traffic is just horrendous out here. A squirrel. See?
Cut me off.
Shoot it.
Are you okay?
Did you say that in character? Okay. All right.
I mean, that is your ability
Yeah, I
to
can do
gather
that.
food for the
We'll say
party, and it's food.
For a brief second, Pipalook stands up. Second guesses. The wagon goes through, very much so. The weather does warm up as the sun is out a little bit, but you definitely know that as the days progress into winter, it's going to definitely get colder. You're cool with this. You don't mind.
Yep.
Rao seems unaffected. The rest of you, I'm sorry, Unido is fine. You two.
Yeah, I got my little
Yeah.
fur.
Oh, your little fur.
Yeah.
Pipalook throws you a little side eye. And, yes. So,
Just stir the pot.
Oh my god, it looks so nice on you.
Thank you.
also, I wanted to clarify too, because I do have some notes here, and I want to make sure you do have on your persons for 5 healing potions, regular healing potions. You're gonna, huh?
So where are they?
I got all 5 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
They
you
were
do.
in the pile of stuff you pushed in the back of the car.
They're in the barrel.
Those were already checked. Those were already checked previously, but I want to make sure you are aware you have them. You can distribute them amongst
Oh,
yourselves.
is that among the vials that I found on the
Yup.
thief? What's that?
The
doppelganger?
thief, and then in the pit.
Okay.
Pits have to spit. No, not that.
So that means I have 2 of them. I don't know where the other 3. Probably. I didn't jump down in the pit, so that was you that jumped.
It was
in the pit.
Pipalook. Pipalook too was in the
Okay,
pit.
so you 3 have you 2 have the other 3, and then I
But
have 2.
just wanted to clarify. You guys can work that out. But
Okay.
in case I throw everything at you, I don't want you running around like, "Oh, yeah, you did. So,
Let's say 2, 1, 2, just until,
Yeah, I'll take 2 healing.
just so someone writes down something.
Wait, Unido doesn't get one?
No, they can hand me one.
Oh man, picturing Unido try and drink a potion.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, no.
Soak it in.
Oh, it
Literally.
absorbs.
Yeah.
So the day is had. Travel, nothing seems to bother you too much. Again, it warms up. We'll say there's certain areas where it does get a little bumpy in the back, and the carapace like rocks towards some of you. Okay. Nalvare nestles very close and affectionate this day, as you guys are all cramped in the back now. Eric's Rael on your shoulder still.
Not happy.
Not happy, but you do manage to complete another day's travel. The sun begins to set again. What are we doing? You have quite a bit of days of travel ahead of you.
I'm going to give one of those healing potions to Roy. Just like, hey, I was double checking some of my stuff because I got bored in the back, and I realized I have these. So here's one for you.
Okay. Well, thank you. And couldn't help but notice in previous fights that you were a little bit talented with the magical arts.
You mean that hand cannon thing that I do?
Yeah.
I guess gifted is the better word than talented.
I'll take out one of the scrolls. I'll take out sure, this one. I'll hand you this one. Can you read that?
What language is it in?
Yeah, they're in common.
I'll use my Eldritch Sight on it, and I'll read it over. It's like, that's useful. Yeah.
Audience at home is like, you ready for it? You ready for it?
I don't really need to be able to, like, this is a one-use thing, I'm pretty sure, for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, you might want to hold on to this, because, yeah, it's kind of shitty on me.
Yeah, well, what about me?
You already have the spell.
You literally use that to find out what that is.
Oh. Okay, says Marceline.
Yeah, Marceline, you, like, have a whole wealth of schooling and stuff like that. We're, like, on baby block stuff right here.
Yeah, but I like learning.
You're not gonna, you already know all this stuff.
Not all of it.
Again, maybe we can work out something when we get back to town.
I mean, maybe you at least owe her one off the bat. Not you specifically, but we did punch her in the face.
Yeah. Does she adjust her nose? Yeah. You punched me right here.
After she let the doppelganger
That one did.
out.
I did apologize.
Not talking to you right now.
I need to process.
Okay.
That's
All right. People look very much the same. You set up your camp, lay out the furs, alarm spell set.
Yes.
Um,
And I would like to try to, if Roy is available, I'd like to try to break down the shell. At least start it.
all right, you begin to drag the shell out. You hear, there's some chairs that you have to move and some other barrels and whatnot you have to get to or move past to get through the carapace. You dump it out. There's still a little bit light. You're going to lose it quick. Maintain the fire.
Yep.
You can probably get this done. It will take some time, but if Roy is willing to help you, all right. So that would be your night.
Yes.
Most of
I'm
your
willing
night.
to dedicate my night to this.
Okay. Roy, are you willing to dedicate your night to that?
Sure.
Okay, so roll me survival check at advantage with the assistance of Mr. Roy Couture.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So try this
cool. Mod 20.
Mod 20?
Yeah.
All right, you begin the process. We'll say with a mod 20, yes, you get rid of a lot of the excess that you do not need and begin to break it into more manageable pieces. You know that when you put it back in a wagon, it won't be as obtrusive to the rest of your party in there. Is it armor yet? No. But you've definitely started the process.
Okay.
The rest of you.
While there's still a little bit of light, like while we've like just set up camp, can I send Rael on like a perimeter?
Flies out, and you go through his eyes.
Yes.
Oh, I'd like to think that because one eye's white and one eye's black, they just invert.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Write that down.
Do I notice that?
You're
Yeah, good point.
really
We're
good.
just bouncing back.
No, just hold it right there. She's hitting with the stick and shit.
Does anyone notice that?
I actually wanted to be, I wanted to introduce myself to Eric's, so.
Okay.
Oh no, you say.
No.
All right. So yeah, as you're looking through Rael's eyes, roll me a perception check.
No.
Stack-
Yep,
get the
that
barrel.
explains a lot. Oh wait.
Stack the chair.
Perception.
Oh, good. You're doing that party trick.
And then I'm gonna stay on top of the chair.
7. All right. So you peer through Rael's eyes. Does not catch much of anything, and you're immediately pulled out of your vision as Unido is stacking. You can hear it sounds like it sounds like you're in a tavern right now.
I'll be balancing on top of the chair that's balancing on top of the barrel.
And you see, oh no, I need a dexterity acrobatics tip here, buddy.
That's good.
Yeah.
17.
All right, yeah. And you see the little wooden man just balancing on these chairs.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking around to see if anyone else is paying attention to this. Come get your mannequin, please.
Back. You hear the cursing. You hear Roy just like, no, you turn it. You got to turn it. And Pimpalook having this moment with his carapace. Unidos balancing. Rao, what are you doing as the wooden man is balancing on the chair?
I'm having a private conversation with Belafera if she's not doing anything.
Okay.
I would be watching from afar.
So I guess I'm just going to be standing next to Belafera watching this.
And as you are watching, what does the conversation have?
No, this is more important. Once it's done, resolved, we'll have my talk.
Confused Travolta, like.
All right.
What?
I'm gonna make the jumping motions as if I'm gonna jump down.
All right, I back.
Do a backflip.
Are you gonna jump down?
I am.
All right. Roll me acrobatics.
Catch me.
No.
I don't say that.
Oh yes.
6.
Yeah,
No
you
backflip.
slip. And you land. The hat. And lands on your head.
I'm over here cutting a carrot. That didn't sound good.
And then eventually the chairs and tables.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Fall
I
down.
chilled for a good few minutes.
So,
Resetting.
Reset.
He hasn't moved yet. I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
He always does that.
Rao and Belafera.
Saying, does Wood get hurt? Like, oh, anyways. Hey, I have a question since you're kind of in deep with the religious types. I just kind of read books now and again. Your god's like the Moonlight, Empress thing, right?
Yes.
Does she have any like natural enemies or anything like that?
I'll kind of like think for a second. Would I know? Would there be?
Yeah, roll me a religion check.
13.
One name comes to mind, specifically. Grumsh.
Excuse?
Grumsh.
Grumsh?
Exactly.
Grumsh.
And you know him.
Okay.
You know this to be the orc deity of war.
I can't imagine anybody who would really oppose her. I mean, there's just so much to admire about everything that she stands for.
Nothing comes to mind.
But the orcs, I don't think would particularly agree, but orcs, they don't particularly think.
Yeah. I know a couple orcs. I'm actually really good with a half orc. So, they're some of them are nice. Yeah. But like, as the domain of Moonlight and whatnot, there's a name that someone told me, and I need to find out more about it, and I was hoping you might know a thing or two.
What is the name?
It's more of a title.
What is the title?
The Lord of Shadows.
Oh, I would know that. From, right?
Talk to him.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yep. Seems to ring a bell.
Spoiler.
What do you know about him? Notes time. Notes look through. I feel
The
bad.
Jeopardy music.
I do kind of like the graveyard kind of lifting up.
Oh god, Undertaker at WrestleMania.
You know Belafera.
Yeah, I can't find it.
You've heard the name, the term,
Oh,
but you know very little,
what would I know?
if not. Roll me another religion check.
Okay, sorry.
Ooh, when it counts.
21.
21. In your head, you would know the name Shar would be closely connected with this.
I'm triggered on so many levels right now. Okay. Who told you that name?
Those invisible people that were attacking that little girl, Poppy and all them.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they said something about taking over the shadows from him.
I can't fathom that possible, but there's certainly evil resounding in those words.
Is this lord or king or whatever he is he evil too, or what's his
I would
shtick?
assume. I would assume.
And which one are you referring to?
Heard the name. That one.
Grumsh?
No, the other one.
The other one?
Lord of Shadows, you said?
Lord of Shadows.
Lord of Shadows.
You
Sorry, I
don't
didn't write that
know.
down. I'm gonna lie then and say I assume.
You need to roll me a deception check, liar.
Oh, don't even worry, girl.
No. She said the magic words.
Deception?
Mhm.
It's a 5.
Yep. Yeah.
He's a liar?
No need to roll. Your passive
Natural
insight.
20.
You wasted the 20. Your passive insight, you know, like when she says no, you're like, all right. I was blatant, you know.
How much schooling do they give y'all as a follower or whatnot?
I've been training since I was a little girl.
Oh, okay.
I was raised in the church.
That's pretty impressive. Did you do anything else other than this, or were you just strictly...
Like hobbies?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, why not?
Yes. I have hobbies. I have friends.
Are they all church, or...
No.
Oh.
Lay it on the
Do you have
ground.
friends?
Yeah,
Just us.
I do.
All half-orcs.
No, it's just 2 half-orcs.
Just 2 half-orc friends.
Yeah.
They're your only friends.
No. There's a fun little bunch of us all hanging out and Continuar doing completely nice and normal things.
Do you have family?
Yeah. I got a dad and I got a little sister and a stepmom.
Are they alive?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Whoa.
I mean, we've been traveling for a month, but I hope they still are.
Yes.
After that, I'm gonna walk away. I'm like, thanks.
With this, the carapace broke down in pieces. Unido eventually collects your furniture and watches again. Who is taking watch?
I'll take a watch.
First watch.
First watch. Before it gets too dark, because I'm a human.
I'll take first also.
I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take second watch.
I'm gonna sleep through first again and take second and third.
I'll take her.
Okay.
I'm gonna read a book.
You grab a book.
Prayer.
Yeah. I have a Myers journal.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check.
You can read it.
I know. Should I roll a disadvantage? I roll a disadvantage. Still 11.
11. Yeah. I mean, it's a simple life. He did a lot of farming prior to becoming magistrate of Claythorpe, but he was gifted this. He was given that task when the previous magistrate passed away. He was very appreciative of being thought of as someone who could protect.
I turned to the end. Did he write anything about me?
He did not.
Oh. Okay.
Did not write anything about you. Actually, you see that the last dated entry was probably a week prior to your party getting there.
Okay.
He seemed to be preoccupied with other things.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Roy and Rao.
Oh, okay.
You guys stand out there. The sun is set, but there's enough light in the sky. You look out. What do you see?
Sunset hurt my eyes. 6.
6.
2 minus 1.
Yeah. I would like to think that you guys are having a conversation or something. You're distracted.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna ask him. Hey, do you have those other 2 books still?
Yeah. Hey.
And what are these 2 about?
These 2. Yes. These two are written. The one is written in common. It says Survival in Unknown Lands. Seems to be authored by someone else. I do not have a name. Great DM. The other one is unintelligible. There is
Like
no.
as in illegible, or is it like it's crazy?
It's jargon. There are symbols. There are made-up words. There is all sorts of things. There are pages that are within that seem to be just scribbled out into black of whatever ink.
Dude, have you seen anything like this before? This is pretty nuts.
I'll take a look.
When you take a look at it, it's just...
Is it written in common, but it just doesn't make sense?
No, I mean, there are some words that are in common, but they almost look like they're backwards. Or whoever wrote this was making up words.
Okay. Are any of the symbols or any of the other writings in it either abyssal, dwarvish, or no?
No.
Okay. No. I'll try and decipher some of the words. Like any of the words that are there, I'll write them down separately.
Yeah, I mean, again, you write them down in backwards, they're like, yeah, you cannot.
I don't know if it's the sun setting or this book, but my head hurts. Here you go. You can have that. Take a swig.
Actually, roll me intelligence check. Actually, both of you roll me intelligence checks as you did look at this. I just want to see if you guys can
go insane.
Straight intelligence?
Yeah, just straight intelligence.
Intelligence saving throw.
Oh no.
18.
Oh.
18. You're almost certain it's like it's not even encrypted. You know, it's just
Someone losing their
random. Yeah, very random book, but definitely weird nonetheless.
3.
Yeah, no, just it's very random.
So this isn't like a code or anything, or is it like a prison novel?
I'm going to flip to the back and then the front page and see if there's a difference in handwriting style, to see if it's like a slow deterioration of someone's mind or if it's just...
Yeah, you flip to the back, it seems very consistent.
It's consistently
insane,
unintelligible. I don't know, man.
Alright, well I'm already reading one of these. Do you want any of the other 4? I got the History of Claythorpe. There's these 2, and what was the other one?
The other one is in Elvish, and you don't know.
By the time you get done saying that, you look over and Roy's already asleep.
Okay. Cool.
Pipalook and Velafera are awoken for their watches. Anything particular you do, or are you just looking out into the nothingness?
Do you have family?
I do, up north. I have siblings. I have twin siblings that are learning to be are healers. What about you?
Yes.
What kind?
Happy. A happy family. Very modest.
Where did you grow up?
Muertos Lagos, in the south.
I've never heard of that place. But
that's strange. Most people have.
No, where we're from, we tend to travel. We stay separate from others. The outside world. Coming down here has been very strange. Meeting these people, I gesture around, meeting all types. I've never seen anyone.
Oh no.
Even someone who looks like you I've never seen
Looks upside
before.
down.
It's very weird.
Interesting. I've traveled alone for a long time, and it's kind of unique to be around anybody for such pleasant reasons, even though they might seem a little unpleasant sometimes.
Well, how did you come to the large city, Cariad?
I was working.
Working?
Yes.
What do you do? I don't think I've asked that before.
Just my tea over here.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to word it.
He's like hiding behind a DM screen, just like...
Yes, my children.
Can I be eavesdropping on this?
Perception check.
I provide assistance for those who require it, people who are suffering. who need help emotionally, physically, spiritually.
It's a very kind thing for you to do. There are those when bad things happen in our tribe, we often need to rely on others to help us get through it. So it's good that you're there for those who don't have their community.
We try to be.
As you say we, Navarre bumps your hand.
Yeah. And I just kind of pet him.
Just nod and I'll look around.
Okay.
I would also like to hashtag pray.
Hashtag pray. All right.
Yeah. I would like to ask my deity about the Lord of Shadows and what information she can give me there.
Roll me a religion check.
And make you a better liar.
We can only hope.
Okay.
Hang on, I forgot how to read. 9, 10, 12.
Okay. You feel, as much as you pray tonight, you do not feel a close connection to that of Sayani.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I do want to check our, where are we on food? Do we still have food that I've provided since we were
yes,
here?
I believe you did have a deer that you procured and prepared.
I just
Skin.
want to know if I need to hunt tomorrow.
You should have enough food, at least for the next, 3-4 days, but
Okay.
something to keep in mind. So if you want to make that note.
Squirrels beware.
Look out.
Belthera and Eric's would have the final watch. I'm sorry.
Oh, we didn't actually roll.
No, you did not. Sorry. Correction.
We're all dead. Someone died.
Yeah.
9. Guess I'm going through that glass.
Okay.
16.
16. Nothing catches your eye. Nothing seems to be out on the horizon. Both east, west, north, south. Very quiet. Belafera and Eric's, you have final watch. Anything that you choose to do?
I'll probably just be poring over my journal, my book,
Mhm.
just kind of reading things over again.
Okay.
I want to point at the raven. Is it real?
He's real. I mean, to
Stretches
me.
out its wings.
Is it as real as the ones that fly through the trees?
Yes and no. I mean, he's physically there, and I boop him.
Takes 2 steps away from you.
Oh, he's a sassy raven.
Pecks out your hand.
Alright. But he's not like the ones that fly around just normally, but he does physically exist.
Is there a way to have Navarre sniff the raven and acquire in its memory banks the way that it smells in case?
Yeah, maybe, the only way that Navarre can get to the raven would have to be to traverse the tall drink of water over here.
Okay, sure.
Listen, we've had this conversation. Eric's is a good-looking dude.
But yeah, 6'3", Eric's
Yeah.
up here. Navarre would have to physically be up on top of.
Okay, I want to
Unless you physically ask.
Could I have Navarre recognize? Have you vocalized the raven's name ever?
Mm-mm.
What did I just say? Recognize your raven, just in case we get separated in the future.
Is your cat going to eat my bird?
No, he doesn't eat.
Alright, I'll take him off of my shoulder and have him on my hand. He's not happy.
It's okay.
One more perception check. Add advantage because you have, I think, keen smell.
Would I add for Navarre?
Yes, please.
20.
20? Yeah. You feel that Navarre has embraced the bird and has a scent locked in.
This is really an Animal Pal campaign. Like, we're just NPCs.
Roll me perception checks for your watch.
Oh, we're not. Oh no.
Don't even say that out loud.
7.
Anything great?
13.
All right. Take nothing. Nothing catches your eye. Your conversation is had, and your watches are over. The next day, the sun greets you on the next day, and you get the wagon ready, prepare, and you begin to head south. Unless there was anything particular you wanted to do for the day, your day is relatively uneventful.
I want to read the diary. Start reading it like reading your game.
Okay. You begin to read the diary. No checks made. I mean, you're sitting there and you read. We'll say you start off and you realize this was probably started when he was about 25. He started writing this diary, and it's not every day. It's every important moment to him. But I'll give you some notes down the line here on what you're actually reading, because some of it may be useful.
Okay.
Mr. Kotor, or Pipalook, who is steering this wagon?
If you would like to drink, I can.
Wow! That's wow!
For the first time in my life, someone truly knows.
That's some savage shade. That's some savage, subtle shade. Well, if you just want to be an alcoholic, I'll drive.
I'll keep an eye out. How about that?
You drive. Where we animal handling?
I drink.
Here comes.
A little bit.
Not 20!
Hey, all right. You get them on a good path. There's a lot of most of the bumps and that you guys felt in the back today. Not so much, if any at all. Pipalook seems to have mapped out a decent path ahead of her and has traversed. And it's a little bit more comfortable in the wagon now as the carapace has been broke down. It's in nice little pieces that have been probably roped off and secured in the back and not sliding all over the place. But your day is had. You park the wagon and begin to set up your camp again. People look very much the same, laying out your furs, laying up the alarm. Anything in particular that is occurring before you take your rest?
Could I trouble you for a spoon?
My spoon is too big.
I hold it away. I
You didn't get
reach
the
my hand
last
out.
one back.
Oh.
For those at home, Unido does not talk, so it's.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to trade? I shoot him.
You know what? Out of curiosity, because he don't talk.
Oh yeah.
You pass this down, please.
Oh my god. Do you hand him that?
Can you read that?
This is a spell scroll that you had.
It's a scroll.
Yeah.
Don't fully read it. If you know what I mean.
Oh god.
Fireball. Join us for our next campaign.
What's fireball? What?
I kind of roll it up and hold on to it. I'll hold on to it for the night.
All right.
Signal like that, yeah.
Say
I'll take that as a yes.
Marceline does not take notice of this. She's
Okay.
preparing her bed. And she's
I wave at for Marceline.
That's worse than a fireball.
she scowls. She definitely scowls.
I walk over to Marceline. I think that this is the one that would suit you best in the future. And I hand her back this. I hand her, for viewers at home, comprehend
I
language.
already know that.
As soon as I hear that, I was like, hey, I told you. You're smarter than the rest of us.
I'll keep it. It's mine.
And then thinking about smarter than the rest of us, I bring the Crazy Man book to her. It's like, hey, I know you said you were getting bored, and I sit down next to her. This was in Ethris' library for some reason, and it's just a bunch of jargon and Crazy Man. Could you like understand
She
this
takes
by
the
any
book
chance?
from you.
Yeah.
Starts flipping through it. It's not code. It looks just like random junk.
would you be interested in just holding on to it since you're bored? Maybe you might figure something out later that I can't.
I'll look through it.
Okay. Cool.
This isn't a peace offering. I just want you to know. She takes it and walks away.
Oh, wait a minute. Walk away.
Wow.
I think the correct term is wizards.
Yeah, so she sits down, and before she falls asleep, she flips through this book. Just those with past perception, you see the look of confusion on some pages and almost enlightenment on others. As there's bits of artwork in it, but nothing is anything that anybody's ever seen. It's very backwards, upside down.
I'm gonna toy with her all night. Scroll.
She spats it away. She keeps batting away.
I don't actually touch her with it. I just really.
Stop.
Not touching.
I'm reading. I'm reading.
Maybe it accidentally hits blood.
For a brief second, you almost see her hand kind of pulse with some sort of energy, and
She's the worst.
who's taking watches?
I sleep through the first and I'm awake for the last two.
Wait for the last two.
Take me
Who's taking?
I'll take first.
Okay, Pipalook and Eric's.
I'll be on all three.
I'm gonna. Hey Roy, you want to play cards later again for
Sure.
during watch? So whatever one Roy does, I'll do that one.
Whatever card game.
Who's taking? Oh yeah. So what are you guys taking? First or second? Or first, second, or third? Entirely
I
up to you.
think second's still open.
Second. We'll do second.
Yeah.
All right. So we got 4 on second watch.
Wait, no, which one was still open? Because I know we knew third.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Pipalook, Eric's, and Unido. If you want to roll me perception checks. Unido at disadvantage.
2.
Yep.
18.
18.
16.
16. You do take notice again out in the distance. You see a flicker of flame, and then it's gone.
Is it the same distance that one time?
Yes.
I'm not gonna arrow just slightly. Did you see that?
I saw that, and I saw it the second night as well. I guess that would be last night. Right.
About how far out is it?
We can set. What was it?
No, I had like an 18.
18. No, I was the 17.
Oh, okay.
Almost about 3/4 mile away.
And it's open fields, right?
Mostly, yeah. See a bit of shrubbery here and there. Tall grass, patchy.
I'm just. I'm just gonna keep my eye out and see if it happens again. If it happens at intervals, specifically where it appeared.
Okay. Yeah. You finish your watch. Doesn't appear again.
When we wake up, the next crew.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
Belafera and Unido.
I'm already awake.
I point out to where it was. There was a flash of light out there this evening. Eric said that he saw it last night.
Okay.
Keep an eye out if it gets closer. I'm not sure what it could be.
Okay.
And we'll say, Pipalook, as you rest, you throw a bit of wood on the fire, keep the warmth going.
I'll hand signal. It's like I saw it 2 nights. I saw it 2 nights ago, so I'll signal, but I'll do the hand motions because.
Do I have to do anything to comprehend that?
Yeah, I'd say give me an intelligence.
Way.
Cool. That's intelligence. That's gonna be a 17.
I think. Okay, yeah, you got me. Oh, okay, yeah, you
What?
understand.
You just saw it also 2 nights back. That concerns me. Could be following
Well,
us.
I gave you the
at the
scroll
risk
as
of
a reward.
sounding
Oh my god.
paranoid, I think someone's following us.
You say you think it's paranoid?
Just to clarify,
No, I'm saying at the risk of sounding paranoid.
has this light always been in front of where we're going, or has the light always been
Behind.
behind? Okay.
Yep. So, Eric's, Pipalook, you rest, and Belafera and Unido, you take your watch. Roll me perception checks.
Can I interact with Unido?
Absolutely.
No.
Can you?
He's out of bounds.
11.
15.
Okay. What is your interaction?
I hold my hand out to him, see if he'll take it.
I stare like very intently, and I kind of approach the bag. I put a little button inside your hand.
What does this mean?
What?
Oh, so I take a coin out of and I put it in his hand.
I put it back in the bag.
When he shakes my hand, I want to like feel the material that
Feels
he's
like wood. You feel the joints of his fingers kind of.
Does it feel like, obviously he's alive, but does it feel alive in my hand, or does it feel like a mannequin hand made out of wood? Does that make sense?
Very much you feel almost like if there was muscle on him, you would feel the give and pull of it. So it does not feel like you just grabbed a stick.
Okay.
It feels like you grabbed something that has some sort of life on the inside or something.
Okay.
Some pull to it.
Do you speak at all?
And you do, so Unido also has a blank face. There is no eyes.
No eyes, no mouth, no
nose,
ears.
no mouth.
Yeah.
So,
It's like a drawing mannequin.
If you had a mouth, you would speak.
I shrug.
Do you have a soul inside of you?
No.
It's not hollow. It's very much solid.
I knock on my chest too.
It's hollow.
Okay. I feel
What was your perception check?
Oh, 15.
Yeah.
What was yours?
11.
11. You peer out, you see nothing of catches or interest. You peer out, you look out, you see nothing on the horizon. You look up, you see the two moons. They sit in opposite crescents.
Okay, I'd like to take this time to do...
You will in just a minute.
Okay, sorry.
Oh.
Oh, is it break?
Two crescents, the twin moons, Sholos and Astai. On nights like tonight, the daughters move through Mortos Lagos, lifting the vagrants up and shroud it in deep veils of blue, blessing the children. Encircled a single shrouded woman. Experienced but not old. Elegant but not slow. Her tall, thin frame holds argent hands coupling cherubic faces. A warm smile and a release of welcome silvered coins brightens the cool Halig Mortis night. As the daughters watch the children, only one takes notice. As the moon sworn, Malashira Mirin Bryn Darin, as she falls to her knees in pain. The daughters swarm, lifting the moon sworn and taking notice of the sickness that has shocked her system. They also notice the blood that has pooled on her head and a single horrific image. You see a triangle, and in the center of a triangle looks like a V. And these protrusions, one up and two off to the side. Very much looking like this symbol here.
May I?
Yeah, that is for you. She looks up as blood pools and pours down her face, out of her eyes. And she utters a single word. Oracle. And we're going to go take a break at this point because we need to go to the restrooms. And please stick around. We will, after our break, we are going to announce our two winners for these amazing Easy Roller Dice Company dice trays and a set of acrylic dice. For these are specifically for our followers. Thank you again for allowing us to do this. And we'll be back shortly. Please stick around. Your beard looks great. I believe we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking around. We're going to get to our second half here, but before we do so, I want to announce the winners of our giveaway. Oh my God!
That was great.
We have, thank you for following us, Akio Icarus. We'll be sending you a Easy Roller dice code, dice tray, a set of acrylic dice, some Vaceran Dream stickers, and a few buttons that are just newly made. I got one that says Dungeon Master. You don't get that one. Also, Saint Hazard, I want to thank you again for following us. Again, you will be getting an Easy Roller dice tray, a set of acrylic dice, Vaceran Dream stickers, and some buttons. So we will be in contact with you, both of you, shortly to get that. Now, because we are getting so many great, awesome followers, we, at the end of the stream, will be giving away another set of dice trays, stickers, etc. So please stick around with us, and as we're going to go ahead and try to get that announced not too long after we finish our stream here. We'll do it on stream. We'll figure it out. We're very smart individuals. Some of us. They are. So, let's get back into it. I believe we left off, Villafera, you were looking up to the moon, as Unido was unidoing, and...
Unidoing what a unit does?
We're making a shirt. Check our store. Good on the store.
I'm proud
For a
of
brief
that.
minute, you had this moment, this vision, it felt very real, and you almost felt like you were right there with your fellow daughters. You saw the moon sworn and blood coming out of her eyes, and as you come to your senses, you do feel a bit of wetness out of your eyes. You put your hand up and you feel a bit of blood that's trickled down from your eye.
I reach into my clothes and I pull out my holy symbol and I'm like holding it like a mirror to try to see if there's like, if it's like actively coming out or if it's just that one.
Yeah, just that. As you pull the holy symbol out, and then you feel something catch, and something falls out of your bag into the grass. But you immediately look up and you see, and you wipe the bit of blood off your face.
I kind of like move the blood at my fingers and I...
Tastes like blood.
Tastes like my blood?
Tastes like you. I mean, does everyone's blood taste different? Tastes like blood.
Mine tastes like maple syrup.
Mine tastes like a certain coffee company.
Would I have noticed that something fell out of my bag?
Yeah.
I reach down and
You pick it up and you see a little vial, clear liquid, and a little tag on it.
read the tag.
It says, "Love, Mom." And you know exactly what you have in your hand.
Yeah.
The family makes these all the time.
I kind of roll it in my hand and I look down at Navarre and then I want to look at my party. Is everybody still asleep?
I'm watching you.
You pan around, everyone's still sleeping, and then you have Unido, faceless, staring at you.
Could I try to infer his mood?
Insight check.
That's
High DC.
Oh man, I need the calculator.
First calculation.
24.
24. Unfortunately, it's still very hard to read. Faceless, emotionless figure.
Alright.
Just stands there looking at you. I mean, is he scowling? How can you tell?
Yeah.
No wrinkles on his face?
That's true.
But as you take the bit of blood and you have the vial in your hand, you put the vial away, a bit of blood on your hand. And you just have that vision again of the Moonsworn on her knees, looking up, with blood trickling out of her eyes, looking up at you.
I will find the place around us where there's the most like direct moonlight hitting.
Mm-hmm.
And I will sit down on my knees in that space and I will take out a couple candles and light them in a kind of particular layout. It's very like intentional where I'm putting them. And I will take my holy symbol and I will run it against my tongue and cut my tongue. And then lick my fingers like that and draw the blood like how she had the tears on my face and I'll pray.
Okay, you begin to pray. Roll me a religion check.
I'm watching all this.
Yeah. Which is crazy. From an outsider looking in, like third-person view, you got the wooden man staring at the woman who's like wiping blood all over her face. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, I rolled an 18.
An 18, perfect. You see the crescent moon still sitting over one another. They shine down a little bit of the light that they give, and they seem to be shining down on a specific spot on the ground. You're not sure how far away it is, and it seems to be towards the east. And as the blood trickles down your face a little bit, you get a sense of confidence, and you feel that cyanine, is shining down on you.
I get up and I start walking towards the spot.
Roll me a wisdom check.
Sorry. 11.
You would glean that it is some distance away. It is dark.
I got dark vision though. I wake up Eric's.
Oh shit.
Before you do, as you stop, you look out, blood is down your face. You feel the sense of cyanine watching over you. You are blessed by cyanine.
Oh, what does that mean?
That means
Hashtag
this thing
blessed.
here.
Hashtag blessed.
Patrick's making it rain today.
You guys have been sitting. You guys haven't done anything for past sessions. I haven't got to give out the goodies.
What is forever or 2 hours, 1 hour, 1
For
day?
the day.
For the day. Are the days just starting?
No, yours is
Just ending?
just ending. Yeah.
Okay. Will you tell me when this is over?
Yeah.
Or is it when everybody else wakes up?
The start of the day.
Okay.
When the moon is no longer in the sky.
Okay.
When cyanine does not shine down on you. But you stop, you spin around, and you walk over to where Eric's lays as Unido watches
I don't
you.
like it.
I do still have the blood on my face.
I'm a violent wake up person.
Okay.
Just long limbs just going everywhere to try to wake me up.
I kneel down beside Eric's and how are you sleeping?
Fetal position.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody sleep fetal position?
No, probably some semblance of a spread eagle kind of thing. Just like
Oh, geez.
starfish.
Like a starfish.
Sauna.
So where his head is and the length of the horns, I'm sitting at the very end of the horns, and I kind of like reach under and like cut like that under his head, and I say, Eric's, are you awake? Yeah, for real.
Easily enough, you do wake up, but it's entirely how you so choose. You
Definitely
see the
wake up, but definitely there's a moment of kind of like, I mean, there are no pupils, so you don't really see any focusing happening, but there's definitely a sense of, there's a pause, and then there's just like a full body like twitch, flex, like just throwing you away.
Yes.
As you get pushed back, now Ray does, hair raises up, tail raises up,
Oh, man.
and kind of fangs do come out, just to remind you that he's still there.
Yikes. What is all that?
I kind of like touch my face. It's just a thing that we do. Today.
We, as in like you,
My people.
not,
Just me.
okay.
Not everyone. Just
All
me.
right. Oh, okay.
Just right now.
All
But I
Come
need
through
you.
and I had like mud on my face.
Uh-huh.
It's not
I
much.
need you to come with me.
Confettis from earlier. Go where? It's the middle of the night.
If you stand up and you come here, I'll show you. You can see it too. I know you can see it.
I oblige, I suppose.
I guide him to the spot where I was kneeling, where I first saw the light.
You stand up as you two walk over, Unido.
Ugh.
I have him kneel down where I was kneeling with all my
Follows.
candles still there, and I'm like, look, do you see where it's hitting on the ground? All the way out there.
She pinpoints to you as you look out. Roll me a wisdom survival check.
$15.
15. From what you can gauge, the way that the moons are focused down, the light shining down, it's probably about a day and a half, 2 days travel from where she's pointing, where she feels necessary to go.
Are there any distinguishing landmarks around that place where I could
With a 15,
pinpoint?
it's hard to tell. But you can see that it's almost in line and parallel, but where she feels is a short distance, you engage is much further away.
That is at least a day, day and a half, 2 days with all this.
But we should go right now.
We can't leave the group just here without any word. I mean, it's completely off the track that we're moving, right?
You would be heading in a southeastern direction, whereas you're currently heading straight south.
Straight south. I mean, I guess a day and a half isn't terribly much compared to a month of travel, but we can't head there now. There's no way.
But we could wake everybody up and we can just go right now. We have to go now in the night when we can see where it is.
Can I kick Rao awake?
Alright, wake up, Rao. Rao, you're kicked.
No. Oh, stop.
Just one more time, right in the hip. Just.
Oh my god.
And you got the nice pointy. The pointy
Oh
boots,
yeah, the pointy.
Yeah.
The boots, yeah.
That's half his hit points.
Oh my god.
We got a bleeder.
What was that?
As Rao gets up, I run over to Pipalik and I wake her up.
Okay,
It was-
you're awakened.
That one. She's running away.
And I don't run. This is
Meantime, the whole time, Unido.
Still got the blood on my face. I'm like, wake up.
What's going on?
We have to pack up and we have to go now. We have to go southeast.
But why? What's going on? Are we
Sehanine is sending a signal that says that we should go this direction and we'll be there
Just
in a
having a
day or
moment.
two.
Help.
This is important. There's something going on.
Do I hear this?
Yeah.
What are you?
You guys are kind of tight here. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
Especially for the alarm spell. Yeah.
What are you saying about directions and stuff?
Sehanine is giving us directions that way, and we have to go now when it's dark.
Roy, you're welcome.
Giving you directions.
This conversation's had now.
Through the moonlight. How else?
The moonlight everywhere?
No, look. And I run back over to him and make him sit and kneel in the same position, and I hold his head and I make him look at the light.
Right.
Do I see it? Because I'm not.
Perception check.
Ooh.
You do not see anything.
I'm going to use my inspiration
Yes.
for that. That's better. And you said perception. I think it's the one that's going on. Yeah, 11.
Yeah, you can gauge where she's pointing. You see this. You look up. You see the two crescents.
Mm-hmm.
And they.
So like perfectly lines up.
Yeah, but you can't gauge the distance. With 11, you're like, I mean, it could be. You're thinking in your head. It could be days. It could be hours.
Wait, give me a second. I have something for this, and I will pull out my cartographer's tools.
Okay.
As a we call it archaeologist.
Yeah.
Can I try to figure out where exactly all this is?
Roll me intelligence check at advantage.
Okay, before I start though, I'm gonna say, does anyone have a map of like this area?
Cue the map. No.
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say how far it is, and then hopefully something will happen.
Gonna survey the situation.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Oh
How
boy.
much was it all together?
What's that?
What skill am I doing?
Intelligence roll.
Intelligence 14.
14. Yeah, you get from where you are, you know, because of what you are aware of the area. You've seen as an archaeologist, you've seen plenty of maps of many areas.
Mm-hmm.
What you can gauge, there is nothing over that direction other than just open land. Probably a few sparse villages here and there, but nothing of no major cities remotely close to this.
I mean, there's nothing of note in that direction, really. There's no major cities. There's no monuments or anything like that. Are you sure you're reading her signs right or whatever? I don't know your god, so I don't know what.
Perfectly, and she never does this. This is new. I've not seen this before. I've heard about it. Her speaking like this.
Roy was already sleeping, shotgun on the wagon.
Mhm.
Just everybody just load up. Let's just go. Let's just go there. What is it? Half a day out of our way?
How much was it?
Day and
Day and a half.
Day and a half, but yeah. Why not?
That's only a fifth. Let's do this.
If God's talking, you gotta answer, right?
Are you packing up in the middle of the night to go?
Real quick, can I insight her? Because I remember she lied to me earlier, like 2 days ago.
What are you inside checking?
To see if she's lying again.
Inside check, yeah.
Okay. Because Rod needs to be sure. Yep, that's a 3.
You believe her.
Okay.
Believe it or not, you're like, oh my god. She
Alright.
seems to be telling the truth.
Can I take a moment to step away from, like, as he's saying, oh, let's load up, to just kind of step away and take my focus, my skull, out of the view of everyone else and just kind of concentrate and see if I can get any reading from my patron, if this is something that is real or if she is interpreting signs incorrectly.
Roll me religion check. 14. I mean, we've heard her having a vision. You've had visions, right? You've had plenty of visions. I mean, one in particular led you to exactly where you are.
All right. I trust her this time. She's being straight up, so might as well, yeah, just hit the road.
I wake up Marceline.
What? What?
I
No.
start packing up her things. for
No,
her.
no, she's like pulling at the blanket and everything. That's easily like a minute. Just, why are we going? Where are we going?
She had a premonition from her god.
And we're gonna leave in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
I hold my hand out to her to help her up and just...
She does not put her hand there. She's on the fence back.
I'm gonna give Eric's a look. I'm gonna give her like a little head cock, and I'm gonna go and like, help me on this, and we're gonna try to scoop up Marceline off the ground. I'm gonna hope Eric goes with you.
All right, so roll me a strength check at advantage.
Last week we punched her. This week it's abduction.
Can I help Marceline not be?
Yeah, I'll roll an advantage for
What
her.
the hell?
It's just a 10.
Nope. A 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, you managed to pick her up. She does not. She's Unido grabs one part of her. At this point, she's like, ah! Oh, put me down! Put me down!
Okay, I put it up.
I drop her.
She kind of straightens herself out and everything. Puts the blanket over her head. I'll sleep in the wagon. Walks away. You just hear mumbling. Unbelievable. Fucking people.
I pack up her things.
You're a peach.
I start rolling up, but I lay down. And, yeah.
Roll up, pick up your sticks. Boop, boop, boop.
Yep.
It's like,
I massaged the side where I got kicked by a fucking steel-toed boot.
Tell Farrah, man. She packs a punch.
Insight.
There'd be a deception check there or something.
so you load up the wagon in the middle of the night.
I guess I'm driving it. Can I see, because I haven't done this check yet, can I kind of gauge where she wants us to go?
No.
Because I have the map, can I try to gauge the right, like, can I start navigating?
You could, yeah.
Okay, I will do that.
Are you gonna sit up front?
Yeah.
But Roy, you're getting pushed to the back.
I'll tell you what. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll go back there. I was gonna say you point, I'll shoot, but that works too. I'll go to sleep.
Hey, look. Yes. With the aid of Mr. Rao here, you can make me
The Row.
Mr. The Rao. You can make me a survival check at advantage because he is pointing in the direction you need to go.
Big move.
Ooh. Okay. 22.
22. Okay. Yeah. And you guys begin your trek in the middle of the night. I have Rao and Pipalook awake.
Yeah.
Everybody else is asleep, or no?
I'm awake walking beside.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, hey, get in the cart. We're probably gonna end up going faster than you can walk. I'll hold my hand up for her to get in the cart.
I'll take his hand and get in the cart.
Okay, well,
Would there hypothetically be enough room for 3 to sit up front? It'll be like squeezed.
you can squeeze it in, yeah.
All right.
Mr. Couture probably wants to lay out and sleep, so that's why I would have.
I'll leave the barrel and chair behind so there's more room for people to sleep.
Okay. As you look back, you for some reason you just feel like they're waving goodbye to you.
Yeah.
But you're the only one that has this moment. Like,
They're grown up now.
wait, is it's a barrel and a chair?
Yeah.
You essentially left R2D2 and C3PO out in the wilderness to travel together. I love it. All right, great.
Oh, man,
I'm writing a whole side campaign just based on this.
Barrel and chair.
Barrel and chair. That's going to be the final boss. It's a barrel and a chair.
Oh, great.
I don't get it.
Just two mimics.
Anyway, back on track. You travel for the better part of the night, up into the morning hours. The sun crests the sky, and you are out in the middle of the wilderness.
During the ride, I will have asked, so what's this? What sign did she give you? It was just the moons, or like what was that deal?
Is someone in trouble or in need of our help?
I'm unsure, but I do know that we need to get there as soon as possible.
Wait, are you unsure of the sign that she gave you?
I'm unsure about the help, but I think someone that I love very much is in... I don't want to say danger, but...
Are they like dying or
potentially.
kidnapped or something like that?
Potentially dying.
Alright, let's go.
Okay.
When she says potentially die, I pick up the pace a little bit.
And you head out. Again, the night progresses into day, and the sun is about. You know that you guys are stuck on the wagon for most of the day. How far will you travel before you actually let the horses rest? We'll say, yeah. I mean, entirely up to you guys.
Do they seem like hardy horses, or are they?
Yeah, they're hardy, and for lack of game mechanics, I'm not going to have you guys have to brush and feed every day the horses. I'm assuming you guys are
like
smart enough to
ground grazing.
Yeah.
Then lunch break and then keep on going.
Okay, lunch break and keep on going. Yeah, you stop for a bit, midday, and you begin to head out. The three of you on the front?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, after lunch, you begin to make your trek. Villafera and Pipalook, you do manage to catch this out of your eye. You see something very large moving in the distance, off more south than east, as you guys are traveling in a southeastern direction. But you see something, and you pick it up first, Villafera. You see something stop, large, humanoid-like, but very towering. And you see, you don't see it with your 9 passive perception. But you see it stops, and you look out the way, and you see, and it just kind of lifts up a hand, just waves at you, and waves this big, like flailing arm, just waving at you.
Like no or hello?
Insight check.
I want to see if I can get a better idea of what kind of creature this is. I'll pull up my glasses.
Yeah, perception check at advantage. Yeah, in the. It's still cool mind behind you.
That's 20.
Natural 20.
15.
Looks like hello. You see it as with your through the. You driving? Are you texting and driving? Snapchatting and driving. Check this out. We're going. You peer out through the glass and you see it looks almost giant sized, and it has a single eye, and it waves.
I don't see it.
I stand up and
At this point, you would see Pippolo looking out, and you see a lumbering figure that is out, and it's just you see this hand waving.
Yeah, for our audience, what are you looking through? Just
it's just a smooth, polished stone that's see-through. And it would look just like, I don't know if you saw a particularly clear,
like a piece of quartz. Yeah, like a piece of quartz
that you would
stone.
see on the ground.
Okay.
Almost in like a like trapezoid or trapezoidal form, but more rough around the edges, as it was probably just cut directly from some rock.
Would I know what that was because of my background, and would I know if it was aggressive?
As she pointed out to you, yeah, and you see the gate of it. Unless she tells you about the eye, you don't see. You just see the immensity of it.
Is it coming towards us?
It has not moved. It just it's in the distance, and it's probably about a half mile away, and just kind of.
Okay, I grab her telescope thing.
Yeah, do it through the glass.
I'll look through it.
It's just a single glass.
And with your natural 20, looks like he's smiling.
Aww.
Mechanically, what am I doing?
Rolling a perception of the mannequin.
Okay.
Have I ever seen anything like
Is
that
that
before?
In Mortos Lagos, no. On your travels, roll me history check.
It was 18 on my perception.
17.
18 on your perception. 18 on your perception, you definitely know it's a Cyclops.
Mm-hmm.
With your notes and your studying and knowing of your background, yeah, that's a Cyclops.
Well, do I know it's like aggressive or harmful to humans?
We'll say and because this is my world and I do what I want. No, they tend to fluctuate. It's depending on what regions they come from.
Okay. As I'm watching him, what is he actively doing other than waving?
Give me 1 second, as I want to. Your roll was for.
If I've ever seen something like that before, it was a 17.
On your travels, not in particular. I mean, ogres, but every time most of like with caravans, you rarely traveled by yourself. On long distances, it was very much in a caravan or on a carriage, and most of the riders would steer clear of like larger beings like this. This particular thing, no. Cyclops, no. But he standing there by himself, waving, and with your natural 20, smiling.
I'll pull my whistle and I'll give a little hello, like just two like short notes, and I'll wave back.
Okay.
Then I'll keep going forward.
You hear the whistle. You hear hello.
He's smiling because he sees a food truck coming.
It's Taco Tuesday.
I'll say, wait, how distance-wise, how far is it?
About a half mile.
Half mile. So like me screaming's not gonna do anything. He says hi.
I'm standing.
Up at this point, the cart has stopped. I'm assuming. Yes.
Okay, I'm standing,
Mhm.
and I just kind of like raise my hand up.
Is he in the direction of what you're trying to go for? Or?
Is he? No.
You're heading east, and he is just south.
But I've never seen anything like that before, so I think this must be another sign. We're on the right track. Let's keep going.
Let's start with the horses again.
What if the sign is to avoid that because that's the direction we were going?
Meanwhile, the rest of you, the covered wagon, you're not like, the wagon stopped, so everybody's inside the wagon. It's like, why have we stopped?
Yeah. Like.
And you hear, boo in the distance.
I kind of stomp my foot twice to kind of go.
Click clack, click clack.
Put on my hand again for my glass.
I give it back to her.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably just keep going. If it's so urgent that we have to go, then yeah.
Yeah.
The cart goes. You see the entity looking, follows the cart, waves.
We wave back every time he waves.
Puts his hand down. You see him kind of take a seat.
Aww.
And you are on your way. You continue heading for the rest of the day. Eventually into night. It is dark. You begin to set up your camp. The moons are still in that formation. Exactly. Pinpointing where you need to go. You sense you are closer. What would you like to do with your night? And are you setting up your alarm?
I will set up my alarm.
I will try and process the spoon.
Real quick.
Take the ring check.
Today's the 26th.
Today is the 26th.
Alright, cool.
It is the 20... No, sorry. It's the 27th.
I lay up the furs, so there's a soft place to lay down, and I do the alarm around the circle.
Mm-hmm.
I will take time to note on this map that I'm starting to now draw where that Cyclops was.
Okay. Easy enough.
Is this
Easy
alarm like visible?
With your cartographer's tools, really no
You
check.
can see it.
And-
You can see
and
that
yeah,
when I
you're
put
pretty
limits of
good
twigs and things on the
at this.
ground.
Okay.
What happens if I move a twig?
In character, mind you.
Yeah, in character. Yeah, in character, I move a twig.
You move a twig. It does not break the spell that she's designated you. One of the people.
It says that people can cross. You can set who crosses, but I don't know if he does actually moves the components.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah,
distance thing.
you've You've wasted her spell for the day. Effectively, you do not feel the connection.
I put it back.
So, you immediately feel the thread break.
You know.
Sounds like a disappointed parent.
No!
You just got to see how it's
Bad.
card.
I haven't really explained this before, but please don't mess with these. And if he is continuing to like touch it, I'll just like kind of move his hand, like a parent with a toddler. It keeps things. It lets me know if things that shouldn't be here will cross the threshold. But if you touch it, if you move it, it will break the spell. Unfortunately, it has been lost for today. But keep that in mind, please.
So as you prepare for get the
And I'll
bed
just
down,
collect it back up again.
prepare your meals, Mr. Couture, anything you do in particular?
Yeah, the spoon. I rolled a 15.
Yes. Oh, yeah, you get it smelted.
Sweet.
Yep. And prepared for the next stage. Anyone else?
I'll take, after I finish collecting back up my alarm spell, I'll get the shell.
As you're collecting your alarm spell, you hear footsteps heading your way. Large footsteps. Not fast, just a casual gait. And as you look up, with the sun setting, you see the individual again. Walks up and he is talking rapidly. You make out, say, hey, my name's Gorn. Pleased to meet you. I saw you pass me earlier. You only hear this. He's speaking in giant specifically. I saw you pass earlier. I was just trying to say hi.
How far is he?
He is closing in. We'll say 60, 50, 40.
I'll start
30.
walking up to him. He's like, I'll say, hey, don't worry, he's friendly. Hey, Gordon.
Hey! Oh!
Hey.
Oh! He notices that you speak the language.
How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. It's lonely out here.
Yeah. Excuse us. We're not trying to be rude. We're just in a rush to
No,
get somewhere.
I get it. I get it.
What are you doing out here all by yourself?
Hunting.
That's cool. Is this bountiful parts for you?
He looks back. No.
What do you hunt?
Deer mainly. I mean, whatever I get my hands on.
Is he being honest when he says deer?
Insight check.
What does this sound like to people who can't?
It's just this very baritone.
Couldn't help but notice a couple of your party members have horns.
I mean, at this point, as Rao stands, that he's towering. Oh, this individual towers over Rao. And Pipaloop not too far away, kind of like just grabbing grass at this point. Like, what is this thing?
It was a 3 on my insight check.
3 on your insight check?
Yeah.
Seems honest enough. Pipaloop, you would look at him and you get the idea that he's a giant. You've seen from where you are up north, there are not as because he is furred up, and you tend to see most of the furs happen to be deer in nature. If he was this close to you, he would have already squashed you. Pipaloop, you know this, and you know this too,
Yeah.
as being the studying of the giant kin. If he was this close, you would not be having this conversation. But he stands there, hunting, things like that. I don't mean to frighten you. I just, just looking for conversation. And I didn't have any food, so I was just curious if you had some food.
We might. I mean, probably not enough for you, but
Whoa.
no offense.
No,
Gordon.
and he kind of puts his hand out and pats you on the shoulder. I feel like he almost gonna break your freaking shoulder.
How tall?
That's the other half.
How tall is he? Actually?
He's about 13 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
That's a
so
lot
I was
shorter.
like imagining like
He's a big boy. He's a big guy.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you're welcome to stay by our fire for the night because we're gonna be here.
Looks out. All your friends? Wow.
Yeah, we're all traveling together. That one over there, actually.
Meanwhile, the rest of you see, it almost looks like negotiations. So any one of them, right? Yep,
No.
anyone.
I'm not worried.
I pushed Pipaloop to the front.
I point at her and I was like, she actually is the one that does the hunting. Maybe she can help you if you're trying to find food.
He leans in close to Pipaloop, blinks the eye. Kind of small.
Yeah, I think she does like stealthy hunting. She doesn't really march up to it.
She starts speaking to you directly in Giant. You get... So how do you kill him? Like, with the stick?
He wants to know how you hunt.
I use a bow and arrow if he's familiar.
Oh, sorry. He doesn't speak common.
I will animate the idea like she uses a bow to shoot arrows from far away.
I knew that. That's smart. I just use rocks.
So, do you know how to do all that?
I don't have one. I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
I don't think I could make one.
I mean, I don't know. These people are pretty talented.
You mean these people?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're skilled in their own ways.
I'm balancing 2 rocks on my hand. They're not even stacked on each other. Just
Dex acrobatics there, fella.
You're just holding 2 rocks.
Oh. 13.
Yeah, you get... But he looks and what are you doing out here?
We're on our way down south.
That way. He points.
Is he correct when he points?
Yes.
Yeah. We're from there. All right, we're staying there right now. So we're heading back, and then hopefully be there in a couple weeks.
Be careful. There's a lot of weird stuff out here.
What have you seen out here?
Weird animals, some stuff that I won't touch.
Do they taste bad?
They look weird. I seen like a, and he points to Navarre like that, but like black and like all over it, like tentacles and shit.
Will I know what he was talking about when he says that?
Intelligence check.
Use the other one because.
Or nature if you're proficient.
I don't think I'm proficient in nature. Okay, that's better. 16.
You've read about them. Displace your beast. Woo. They're hard to hit. He says to you.
I'll tell you what. And I turn around. Do we have enough food for 4 more for dinner?
You just see the Cyclops towering over him, smiling. The biggest smile.
We do. I would have to hunt tomorrow, but we can feed him for tonight.
He can help you with that. That's what he does. And I'll turn around and say, "Hey, yeah, you can have dinner with us if you'd like. You just gotta help her hunt in the morning."
Absolutely. And he puts his hand out, kind of like on your shoulder. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. Take a seat. I'll introduce you to everybody.
Goes and pops the squat and pulls this big sack from off the side, lays it down. You just hear like wood and bones and all kinds of shit inside the sack just kind of move around.
And I'll just continue to have like a just shooting the shit conversation with them.
Yeah. So it's a lot of you. You're just where are you going?
It's the province of Carriers and Nadrian, right?
Yes.
Nadrian.
I don't know
to
what
the
that
south.
is.
It's a whole other province of people to the south of here.
What the fuck's a province?
Well, there are four kingdoms.
What the what? Hold on. There's a lot to take in here. And
Yeah,
the conversation progress. You get the idea. He has like no idea, like outside
like,
politics and worlds and all this. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I teach them whatever they taught us in grade school.
Really? You eventually feed him.
Yeah.
He eats a lot.
And then instead of working on the shell, I would like to take out some of my bone. And I would like to start carving like just
a friend now.
a trinket, just like swirling designs around it, just kind of smoothing it out.
Right.
About piece like that big.
Maybe dexterity check.
Okay. My 20.
My 20. Yeah, you begin the process. Looks pretty good. Very much reminiscent of your land, your people. So it looks the part. Obviously, in real life, Inuit, Eskimo type style artistry to it. Smelt it, dealt it. You're good.
Always.
What? Oh, what did I say? No. The rest of you prepare for the night as Gorn kind of eventually eats, and not too long after he eats, he falls asleep. Like you do. Watches.
I want to stay awake for first watch, sleep for second, stay awake for third.
I'm gonna watch on the same one as Roy again. Still owe me that card game.
What watches are you taking?
Second, right? You said you. I don't know. I'm not paying
Yeah,
attention.
just leave it for second, and we'll take second.
Okay, Roy and Rao, and
I'll take first.
First.
I'll take third.
Third, and Unido.
Yeah, I guess I'm all three again.
Okay, across the board.
Are you just like sleeping in the cart?
No, so I don't need sleep.
Oh, they said you had like 6 hours of sleep.
I have to have 6 hours of like inactivity.
Oh,
so,
okay.
but I can still watch. I can do like light movement or read or such like that.
Okay.
Belfair and Pipaloop, can I get perception checks from you? On your watch.
9.
9.
8.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry for I forgot about you. Unido.
7 or 10. Come on.
22.
22. Again, focused on seeing the lights. You know you're getting closer.
And I would like to have reset up my candles, and I would have cut my tongue again and done the blood thing and prayed. And as I'm praying, I'm casting over and over again my cantrip sword burst. So if you're watching me, you'll just see me like really deep in prayer with like kind of like sickles just like pulse out and whoom, and then pulse out. Whoom,
Okay.
like energy.
For future reference, just let me know you're doing that before, because that 23 probably would not have been a 23.
Okay.
Because you're actively doing other shit, like a lot of other shit.
Yeah.
But you're good. So as you're preparing this, you do, with the 23, you do take notice. In the distance, some mile or about a mile away, flicker of flame. Gone.
I don't say anything.
Okay. You do your sword burst. Eventually, your watch is had. Roy and Rao, you're woken up for your watches.
Yeah. Playing cards, and I want to do an hour of deception training while playing cards with
Okay.
Roy.
864, sir.
Oof.
Right?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
So 8 first, 6 second, and then the D4 last. All right. What is your D8?
I got a 5.
I got a 3.
Okay.
I put down 5 gold pieces.
Okay. He has wagered you 5 gold pieces.
That's looking pretty good. Can I see? I'll just match it. And I'll say, yeah, I'm kind of like getting a little low on gold there, so I might need that. I'll put down.
All right.
Okay. What is your D6?
D6 is a 3.
It's a 5.
At this point, you do have the opportunity to fold. If you,
I put down 1 more gold coin because he said you're getting low.
Yeah. I will match his.
All right, so
1 more gold.
The pot is 12.
Okay.
What we got?
What's that D4?
I got a 3.
Oh, I got a 2!
Pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Well, because just to fit the story, because it's deception training, can I reroll a 4 real quick and see if I can pull one over on Roy?
You could have at the time.
So in the future,
if you want to re-roll one, you can definitely do that. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
You're good. You're good. But you're working on you did your thing.
Okay.
If you were trying to win that money, absolutely, you could have got it, or attempted to win that money. Perception checks, gentlemen. At
Oh, yeah, we
disadvantage
were
because you're
supposed to
playing
be like making
cards.
sure we didn't die.
At disadvantage because you're playing cards.
I'm staying.
Very much.
That disadvantage hurts.
Yeah.
Well, a natural 16 and a natural 4.
13 for me.
That's a nat one.
7!
Nothing of note. Even you know, you look out. Nothing's catching you. I'll say you hear Gorn. Not a heavy snore, but he's definitely got a little nasal blockage there. It's a little annoying.
How big's his nose?
Oh, it is very big.
Question.
He's got a big,
Oh, no.
big size honker on him.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
This is where Unido gets his kill.
Valafera and Eric's, you are waking for your watch.
I continue doing what I've been doing, praying.
Mm-hmm.
Sword burst coming up,
Let's
going
say,
down.
Eventually, down the line here, you will have to re-secure yourself your vestiges, your candles, as you are burning them quite frequently. For future reference, no big deal. Roll me perception checks, you two, as you are out here, and you as well.
6.
Sorry. 23.
23. Nothing. You two catch nothing on the horizon. You catch nothing on the horizon either. But one thing that does catch your eye is you take notice and you see Roy is sleeping. Roy looks really cold.
I stop what I'm doing and I walk over to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to, not to wake him up, but like mom hand, like on the forehead.
As soon as you press it, you feel a slickness of almost ice on his skin. A very fine, thin layer of ice. Your hand is cold to the touch. Or his skin is cold to the touch.
Can I see if it's something that is like a coolness radiating from internally in him or a environmental
Make me a wisdom check.
21.
It's not that cold outside. I mean, it's cool, but it's not nearly the amount that he is showing here. He is essentially an ice cube, and it is. You can see your breath. That's it. But you're a warm body right now, so.
I will take my pink fur and put it around him.
Okay. So you put it around him and lay it behind his head. As soon as the fur touches you, you start awake, and the crack, and this layer of ice falls off your face.
I will reholster my gun. Good morning.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You were frozen.
Gotta be. There's nothing clever to say. I don't know what that is. It just happens sometimes.
This has happened to you before?
On occasion.
Okay.
I appreciate your concern. This looks kind of snazzy.
With your passive, you see the moons out of the corner of your eye, and you do see one bright blue star that glows in the sky as well.
Like right between them?
No, off to the side, but it is pulsing and flickering.
Would I recognize it as something from my deity to talk to me? Or is it something like new?
Roll me an Arcana check.
That's a 6.
You don't feel it's linked to you at all.
You're awake, right?
Yes. Yep.
That's
Maybe.
Yep.
Oh no.
I will point it out to you and say, is that for you?
I look and tell you.
Good. I don't believe so. I don't. She's never communicated with me through the stars before, correct?
As far as you remember, no.
Okay. Do I recognize it as anything having to do with either what we're pursuing, what little I know of that, or...
Make me an Arcana check. Does not seem connected in any way, shape, or form. From what you understand.
Blue and pulsing?
Blue star in the sky. Seems some distance away, but it is the brightest star in the sky right now.
That just appeared? Or
I don't know.
has it been there?
I think it's new, but it might be part of the season. Maybe from where I'm from, I can't see it. So I'm not sure if it's something that's existed since the beginning of time, or if it just appeared now.
Good night.
As Roy falls asleep, you see Gorn, the Cyclops gentleman, leans up, looks about, stretches big, yawns, stands up, looks, nods to you, and he just walks over to where Rao is sleeping, and pulls something out of his pocket, and lays it on Rao's chest. Turns around, looks at you, and kind of waves, and walks away.
A little unsettling.
Just ever so slightly.
I gotta check Rao's body.
You walk over to Rao?
Yeah.
Okay. You look and you see, almost looks like a piece of bone, very similar to what Pippaluke was attempting to carve, but it has some sort of carvings on it in a language that you're not familiar with.
Do I wake up when he leaves? He's very loud.
No, you're sleeping.
Man, that guy was supposed to help you hunt in the morning.
Right? I had a present for him.
The night is had. You guys wake up. Rao, you wake up, you don't see Gorn. Pippaluke, you wake up, you don't see Gorn. But you do see that little piece of wood on your chest.
I am watching over him too.
I'm gonna read it.
You, because you know the terms and speak the language, it just says friend.
Oh.
No, it's a giant friendship bracelet.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, but to him, it was about like, it was maybe like this big. To you, it's like, okay, what am I gonna do with this thing now?
Did he go? Sorry, I'm still waking up. Did he go hunting with you?
No, he left before I woke up. I was hoping to give him something in return.
This is nice, but I'm hungry.
I'll be back shortly.
You're gonna head out?
Yeah.
All right. You don't have to make the roll because of your.
There's 7 of us, so I do.
7.
Yeah. Make
I
your
don't
roll.
eat though.
Oh, that's true. He does not eat.
Even though you guys make a plate, set it in front of him, throw it out.
I do do that every time.
All right, so you head out for what, an hour?
Yeah.
Better part of an hour. Yeah.
Just enough food to get us
Maybe a
through the week.
perception check as you are hunting.
Good fail.
Okay.
Yeah,
You come back.
I'm not using my glass for
You
it.
come back
Inspiration.
and you have provided not a small game. We'll say she rolls up with some possums and whatnot, but they were probably heading back to their because they're nocturnal animals. They're heading back to where they
It's a
sleep,
little
and you
family, yeah.
took advantage of them being a little slower than and you guys eat some possum.
Murdered a whole family.
There's a joke, I'll leave it alone.
I would like to take their hides and try to make gloves, though.
Gloves?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You stick your hand up a possum's ass? Is that what you do?
You said
The
gloves,
babies
not
are-
finger puppets.
Okay.
No,
Their
no,
fingers.
it's the babies.
Nope.
Maybe survival check
And
as
she
you
gave
do
me
that.
some shit about some polar bears.
For
Yeah,
real.
because possums don't talk.
They don't.
Which, by the way, I let him have the
Oh,
paper.
I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
With pride.
Oh man, we gotta get some new artwork.
I'm gonna
Stat.
tuck it. I'm gonna
21.
tuck it.
That's
underneath.
21?
Yeah.
All right, yes, you
Oh.
managed to
So it's like a
skin, clean,
It's replacing
and
both.
prepare them for
Yeah.
the next step of your glove making process. You guys pack the wagon up and you head in the direction as Velafera has specified.
Is the star visible in the day?
It is not. Man, that one. So, you begin to follow. The day leads you to the midday sun. It is cool out still, and has not gotten colder as you have moved a bit south. But you know, time is catching up to you, and the season will. You stand, Villafera. You feel that you are where you need to be.
Oh, we reached it already?
Well, you've reached where Villafera feels comfortable. Perception check from Villafera.
And today's the 28th. Just
28, yep.
Thank God that's cocked.
Don't forget, you do have an inspiration point if you want to burn it right now.
Yeah.
But you get one every session. So
Let's do it. This
Yeah,
is
do it.
I burned it on
Hey,
other
yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
There you go.
my heart. How many? 23.
23. 20 is a good number for you today, huh?
Yeah.
It's like a lotto girl.
Yeah.
So, all of you stand out here. Bits of grass, some shrubbery. A lot of the stuff is dying or preparing for the winter months. You're in the middle of nowhere. Villafera looks about, pauses, holds it, grabs the holy symbol. She looks and she sees, laying flat on the ground, there is a large slab of rock, and the only thing that caught you notice is that it was not jagged at all. It seemed very smooth. You step over towards it, and it's almost the size of, say, some sort of like a manhole cover. And you walk over to it, and you stare right down at it, and it almost seems out of place.
How does Navare feel about it?
Uh,
How is he interacting with it? Is he kind of nervous?
a little bit. It walks behind you, does not approach or get too close.
I kind of squat down next to it, and I don't touch it. I take my holy symbol and I place that on it.
You hear the metal and stone.
Anything happen? I put my hand on it.
Feels cool, cold.
I take my holy symbol and I cut my hand.
Okay, you all see her put the holy
And
symbol.
I put my hand on it.
Place the bloodied hand on it.
Does she do that?
You smear
Rub my blood on
you
it.
smear the blood around. You have blood on the rock now.
Blood out.
I sit down next to it.
You sit down next to the rock.
We have
All
to
of you are
wait till
actively
nighttime.
watching. Marceline's like, what are we doing?
We are looking for the biggest ball of yawn in this section.
Can I-
Sort of a roadside
so we're
attraction.
in like a deading area and there's just a rock and that's it.
Yeah, you see some open grassy area, like patches of trees that sparse throughout. Yeah.
Do you feel anything from your god?
We should wait until nighttime, I think.
How much time do we have until
You have
night?
a whole half day.
You want to say camp here and then maybe call it a little bit early so we can be up at night?
Yes. I think that would be best.
Can I send Rael up to do kind of bigger circle, smaller circles,
Yeah.
bigger circles?
You send them up, go into your trance, the one eye.
Like that.
It's all in the technique. You gotta adopt a new technique.
Okay, I gotta do something different for the love of Christmas. 9.
9. Rael flies out. Takes not too much notice of anything. Nope, nothing.
Bibbaloo, can you do me a favor? Just lay down in the grass like this. And I go and I start grabbing one of the pieces of the carapace and walking over with a piece of chalk.
Oh, okay. Seeing that he does that, I'll lay down and
I'll
Lay down
start
on the ground.
awkwardly with my.
Yep.
marking out the individual panels that needs to be, all the splints that need to be cut.
Maybe intelligence check.
Tinkering?
Tell
Wow.
That's going to be a 19.
it. Yeah, you begin to map it out, and you know. Oh, this is perfect for your character too. This is we're making shit. Making a thing.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
So yeah, you begin the process of mapping that out. Would you guys like to spend the rest of the day doing that?
Might as well, yeah.
All right.
After
Yeah.
that,
All
we'll
right.
start
So if
cutting
you
them out.
roll me a survival check at advantage as you're breaking out. Breaking down the shape of this.
Okay, that is a 23.
Yeah, you break it, and you can see visibly now that you have almost like this like a breastplate type scenario that is being created out of this dead beast that you guys felled, and it will say, yeah. I'm trying to remember what color it was.
You said it was like a tan, I think.
Yeah.
Reading Goddard's diary more.
Goddard's diary. Yeah. You see references to the Kilsadian Sea, or Kilsadian vastness.
What did Sadian do?
Kilsadian vastness is the sea. I'll spell it for you at a later time.
Okay.
Also, the of that ocean, you see travels to his travel to Nyantha. You hear him speak or read about him encountering Tabaxis and Luxodons, and it doesn't speak like it's not Richard, Attenborough, or David Attenborough, or whatever. He speaks of structure, empires, and how he was shocked. And he briefly speaks of a city that is entirely made of red rock that he did not approach.
Okay.
He did not approach because he was instructed not to.
It's a shame. It has a natural amphitheater in it.
Right?
How many more sessions of reading this do I need to finish the book?
What do you want to learn?
Well, I just wanted to read it once all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, it's extensive. I would say, yeah, you can. If you spend the rest of this day reading it, you would have read the whole thing.
Okay, I'll spend until it gets dark, and then I'll take a nap before we start doing things.
Okay.
So one more reading.
Yeah, one more go at it.
I want to take the salad fork, the last piece of that 4 dinner set, and I want to attach it to a nomadic anchor, and I want to place the fork near this smooth rock.
Okay.
Right here. And then I am going to take off. I'm going to go basically 1 mile back in the direction we came from.
Okay.
Oh.
And you run. Okay, are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just running?
Once I feel like I'm within a mile,
Mhm.
I'm just going to hide like off the path for a bit and keep watch.
Where is he going?
Where has he been?
All right, you guys lose track of him as he hides. Roll me a stealth check.
There's no point in asking him where he's going because he's not going to answer. There's no point in
19.
stopping him.
19.
He's still
Yeah,
gonna go.
you see him run into the distance, and then he just disappears.
I mean, he didn't take all his stuff, so I hope he'll probably be back later.
I took all my stuff.
The day progresses into eventual night. You all take your rest. Whatever features you guys haven't used yet.
Can I pray?
Okay. As
Before I took my rest.
Before you take the rest, yes,
Yeah.
you can pray.
Hey God, me again. I would like to know what to expect, good or bad.
You do not have that spell, so you would have to be more specific in what you're asking.
Like,
You have access to that spell.
I didn't take it.
I know.
Yeah. I want to know if my friend is alive.
You have a sense that she still is.
Okay. Amen.
Amen. You, those of you rest, sleep. Unido hides behind a tree or some bushes.
Yeah.
Read in the grass.
He becomes the tree.
The night progresses.
Before you get there, about an hour into the night, I'll teleport back.
Okay.
Just so. 'Cause it's
So
probably-
as the sun is beginning to set, the moons, at this point now, no longer in their crescent form overlapping. You stand out in the middle of this open area. You look to the rock. Eventually, Unido bamps in front, stands in front of the rock.
He's back.
Picks up a spoon.
Didn't work.
Salad.
Nothing happens.
Salad worked, yeah.
Salad. Yeah.
Is the star still there?
Perception check.
Using a different die.
You got theirs?
Okay,
There you go.
So for those at home, because we haven't explained it yet, when I lay a nomadic anchor on something, that allows me to, if I'm within 1 mile of it, I can teleport back to that object. So
Yeah.
that's something I can do as a mystic class. Sorry.
No, you're fine. 17.
17. You see? Still there, pulsating, ever present. But the moons have kind of spun, cycled.
It's in the same spot relative to the moons, even though the moons have cycled. Okay.
It's in the same place it was the night before. So what are you doing? You have this rock with blood on it. You have Unido standing in front with a spoon in his hand. You are all awake.
I'm gonna try to pick it up.
Roll me a strength check.
Can I assist?
Roll one at advantage.
How big is this rock?
Wow. Oh, yikes. 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
You, with the help of Eric's, you lift it and you begin to slide the rock. And as you do, you see a single step and another step and another step. And a hole opens up and you see a path leading down.
Ooh. I will,
We have to go.
with my new eyes, I will cast Eldritch Sight and stare into the hole.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You sense no immediate magic.
I would like to, where is that?
Seems like a pretty normal, if this is normal at all,
Yeah, my god thing.
hole in the ground.
Gosh, where is it on all these pages? Eyes of the Grave?
Tell me what happens with the eyes of the grave.
Detect undead within 60 feet.
You sense no undead.
We should go in.
And make sure you mark that off too.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not a channel divinity. I'm
I
thinking
can
of something
use
else.
it as many times as my wisdom.
There's a modifier, so you
allows.
make sure you keep track of that. Your wisdom modifier is a 4, 3?
3.
Yeah, so you have 2 more goes on it.
I mean, if she wouldn't lead you someplace to get killed, right?
I dropped the salad fork on the ground just in case.
Nope.
Let's go. We should
Tink,
just
tink.
go.
Or
You can do that multiple times.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's awesome.
the
Sorry.
anchor lasts for 24 hours, so as long as
That's really cool.
So are you heading into
I
this
am walking
hole?
down the
You're
steps.
leading?
Yep.
Okay.
I will follow behind her. Or staff ready.
I'm gonna cast Armor Vagatus.
I have no weapons out.
I will.
Oh my god, what am I doing?
I will grab Eric's by the arm as
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
with
go.
glitter.
I know. You're following?
No.
Oh.
I'm second.
Sorry.
I'm currently being dragged.
I'll be
Yeah, I will snatch Eric's by the arm real quick and say, "Hey, let's lean back a little bit on these," and then I'll let him go in front of me, and I'll take last.
Unido, where are you?
Is Marceline coming with us?
She is, begrudgingly. She'll stand behind Roy,
Yeah, I'll be behind her.
okay? And then you two, like that.
Before, just to have it ready, before we go fully descend in the hole, I will draw out my rapier, dip it into a shadow nearby, and extend it to its full proper length, and just have my rapier out already.
Okay. Yeah. The shadow blade is out, and it is, as you step in, you can see with your 60 feet dark vision, you see the steps go down 60 feet and plateau. The rest of you who do not have dark vision, you see darkness.
Pull up the gun.
I'd pull out a torch.
Okay.
And I do the whole wait a minute, back and forth crazy.
Oh shit, Marceline is not a fan of that at all.
Yeah.
Would you-
I'll let her get an
Yeah.
extra 5 feet in front of me so I can have
You descend down the stairs.
As we are descending, does it look like the hole behind us closes at all?
Perception check.
Why would you give him ideas?
No,
I want to look around since the torch is out.
Well, that's good. Perception.
Nice.
Perception 17.
17? No, appears to be very much still solid there. A bit of the grass overgrowth hangs down inside, and you see the bit of dirt that makes up the walls. Perception check. 14? Yeah, you see the dirt along the walls, and Velifer, you would have seen this. You see this first. The dirt becomes less dirt and then more into some sort of carved like stone.
Is it the same kind of stone as the stone slab?
It's similar.
Similar. I want to, when I'm walking, have my hand on the wall. One hand on the
You
wall.
rub your hand on the wall, and you can feel the bits of dust and age that is in. You get that bit of filth on your hand.
Huge dust.
I'll walk slower than everyone because I want to take the time to Eldritch Sight and just watch the area we're walking in and see if anything starts to get funky.
You begin to step down, you make your way, and you step towards this threshold, this little carved out doorway. As you peer in, and notice that there's a platform that sits, and you see stairs that descend down, splitting.
Can I take a moment to channel my connection with my patron and cast mage armor on myself?
Okay. Yes. Oh, what color is your mage armor?
It is kind of a black, purple aura, like a very light purple, very, very light purple. And there's just like a hint of feathers, kind of.
So,
yeah.
You stand here at this threshold. You see the stairs split. Do you move further in?
I want to see what Navri feels.
Nothing.
Ooh. No. Like Navri is just like totally like, I don't give a hoot and a half.
He's just
Or just totally neutral entity.
Neutral 100%.
Nervous.
Roll for it.
Neutral.
Alright. We're going to the left.
Okay. As you step out into the threshold, you look out and you see why they split, because they almost split out into this carved out, it looks like an auditorium or some sort of cathedral that centers in on a certain area. And in the center, you see this rock. And in the center of this rock, something appears to be jammed into the center of this rock. You see this stick that protrudes out, and just above it, on the wall, carved in stone, you see that symbol.
That symbol?
Mm-hmm.
Still picking up no magic anywhere.
As soon as you
30 feet.
You move in 30 feet, you're not getting magic.
Just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll approach it.
You descend down the stairs, Malvery with you. All going one way, or are you splitting the difference?
I'm gonna kneel down at the top.
Okay, kneel down at the top, pistol out. You come around to the side. When you get in within 30 feet,
Yeah, I'm gonna stay behind Velifer.
When you get within 30 feet of that stick, you sense a strong magical presence coming from that stick.
Can I double check to make sure it's not trapped at all? As I'm staring at it.
You roll me an investigation check, but as you do, Velifera places her hand.
Can I be like, wait?
Nope.
Don't pull it. Don't pull it.
I just touch it. I'm holding it.
You place your hand on it?
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, don't pull it yet. Don't pull it.
I'm up.
What are you doing, Pipaloop?
I want to see if I can feel if
Nope.
we use
Nope.
my divine sense to see if I can feel anything wrong with the area. If it's desecrated or if there's any celestial being or undead that are within full cover. Desecrated is the thing I'm worried about.
I only had them when I started
Nope,
leveling
you
up.
get
The
no
level
sense
5 will
of
have
any of
set.
this. Any of that. Your divine sense
Level
goes
11
off. You.
final set, and I stop
It smells dank. It smells stale down here. Yeah.
That was a natural one.
Natural one.
Yep.
You look about. We'll say as you're looking around, Velifera's draped clothing. Wait, oh, all right. And she.
What does it feel like?
It feels like wood. And you look at it. It looks like a stick.
Stuck in the stone?
Stuck in a stone, and then as you peer and you see something that's carved onto the stick.
I want to read it.
Wait. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna try to pull it out. You back up, because if I go down, you're the only one that can do anything about it.
Okay.
Can I read it?
You do not know the language.
Do you know what that says?
I'll look at it real
You
quick.
do not know the language.
Just back a little bit, and
Let it go
I'll bring
a
it to
Mhm.
Marceline. And make sure she steps at least 15 feet back, as long as there's room.
Okay.
And I'm like, we're like, please Bahamut. Say a little prayer to Bahamut to make sure I don't die, and I'll try to yank it out of whatever this thing
Make me a
is.
strength check.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 14. Oh.
Nothing.
I will try to help him. So I'm trying to help him.
And you see that where it was, where it sits, you see like almost these cracking or rings, where it had been pressed in so hard with such force that it made the hole. And
It's like a crater.
yes,
No help. Just one at a time. Whoever thinks they can do it, because if this is trapped.
do you walk up to it?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Roy's just
All right, I'm gonna back up to
Up to
15
the top.
feet and let her do the thing.
Put my hands securely around it and. Athletics or strength?
athletics. Well, if you're, I mean, athletics is the
10.
best. Yes, yeah. You pull at it, nothing.
I would like to look around and kind of get a better view of the area, what it looks like, if it is familiar to me at all.
Perception check.
That's another thing. You said it was like a cathedral-ish
Yeah.
thing.
Steps down here. You look back behind you. 10, easily enough. You look back behind you. You see rows carved out of stone. You are currently standing up on this little raised area, almost where someone would stand to decree or proclaim or preach something.
Are there any like religious symboling? I'm gonna go full.
It's funny you should say that, because that symbol in the center appears to be very religious. And then with a 10, you look about to the side, you see a small carved area, like a doorway off to the side. You take notice of it as well.
Oh, really? There's light in here?
Torch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'll say, hey, stop pulling it real quick. Marceline, can you read this by any chance? Let her come down and try to read the thing.
While she's huffing and puffing, I want to walk over to the other door.
I'll roll down
Makes your way down.
and go with her into the other room.
Okay, you're gonna come down. You begin to walk in that direction.
Is everyone around this?
Marceline,
In this room.
Pipalik would just get done pulling Eric's. Where are you from? Or where you at?
Where am I from?
Where you be at?
Where you
Where you
at?
be at?
I'm up with Roy.
Okay, so Roy, you follow Roy down as he's going towards where Velifair is. Rao, you've waiting for Marceline to descend. She
Yeah.
comes down. Pipaloop's standing there. Unido still there.
Everyone's in this area.
Mhm.
I'm gonna start pushing this. Not further into the stone, like almost as if it was like a clock face.
Okay.
And I'm trying to push like a hand.
Want me strength athletics?
Wait, are you talking about the stick?
Yeah.
Wait, no. Let Marceline read it first.
You hear his.
Too late.
19.
Oh,
You hear the of his feet as he pushed, and nothing happens.
Let Marceline read it first, because it might have like instructions on how to get it out.
I can. If you guys want to wait a minute, I can try to figure it out. But it's gonna take me about 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Whatever you need, and then I'll spend.
She pulls out her book, flips a page. You three walk around, and you see this doorway. And as you peer in, you see a hallway. Probably goes about 50 feet down. You see another open doorway on your left. I'm sorry, your right hand side, and one on your left hand side. And then you see further down, you would see another doorway that appears to be open. But you roll me a perception check.
Just so everyone knows at home, we have a rule that the roll has to land in the tray for it to count.
Yeah.
19. You see your reflection.
As me?
You do, and then you see, as you stand there, you see your reflection. And then you see Roy as he's behind you, and then Eric's. As you watch the three of you, as you're looking 50 feet down, you see a mirrored image of yourselves.
I want to be kind of quiet. I don't want everybody who's fucking with the stick to, like, wonder where I'm going. I just kind of want to, like, so I want to do a stealth.
All right, you're gonna go down the hall stealthily.
Yeah.
All right, so you two actively would see because it's a narrow hallway.
Yeah.
So you're trying to keep from everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, so roll me a stealth check.
No. That's a 5.
All right, so you see Roy and Eric. You see Velifair creep down.
My little boots, like, click-clack on that.
You get down to the, you go about 30, 40 feet, and you watch your reflection as you move in close sneak up, stand up. Your reflection. And in the distance, you can see the towering individual that is Eric's and Mr. Kotor with his hat behind you in reflection.
So does the hall end with just the mirror there, or there's a door?
There's a door here, and a door here, and then about 50 feet, you see your reflection. And then, but you see past that another doorway.
Are there any lights on?
There are not.
I will go closer to the reflection, because it's been a long time since I've seen a mirror.
Okay, you walk up to the reflection.
I touch.
As soon as you touch it, your hand begins to burn and sizzle.
I
And
take
you,
it back.
oh, you wish you could.
Take it back.
And you see these pseudopods form out as this gelatinous cube sits right in
Oh man,
front of
not
you.
that again.
And that is where we're going to pick up next week.
I wanted to go. What about the stick? Y'all...
What about the stick?
It'll take
No,
10
That's
minutes.
the title.
Gelatinous cube.
10 minutes? That's too long. We're on D&D time. 6 seconds.
You could have persuaded her. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our first stream, A Vaceran Dream. Please feel free to tune in next week. We're going to be starting our stream at 4:00. Unfortunately, Miss Dakota Deer will not be with us, even though she's right in the middle of the mix.
So did.
Oh my God!
And the week after.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. We can discuss that. Now, please stick around. We will be giving out 2 more dice trays here. Big shout out to Easy Roller Dice Company. Thanks them for supplying us with these awesome dice trays that make no noise whatsoever. I love it. Also, Glass Cabinet Hobbies, who supplied us with minis that you have not got to see yet, but I don't have a gelatinous cube mini. I'm going to try to get one before next week so I can terrorize my party here. Also, SustainableFamiliesFoundation.org. Please give them a check. They are a great organization helping the people in our local area, and I know they would love to help people nationwide, if not worldwide. What am I forgetting?
Carolina.
What's that?
Carolina.
The artist, Carolina Abrantes. Please check her out on Twitter at 00_fires. That's FIRES. Also, just a little shout out to friends of mine up in Pennsylvania. They do a little podcast. It's called the Buddha Buddies. If you get a chance, check them out. They're pretty funny, but they're really good friends of mine. Grew up with them, but it's amazing. Please stick around here. We're gonna go just to a small little interlude, and then we're gonna pull some names here for you. But thank you so much. We are A Vaceran Dream. Thank you, Dan.
Last chance to follow, too.
Last chance.
Yeah. Twitch for next
Thank you,
episode.
Pat.
Yeah. You gonna die.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like
It's okay.
kick you in the
Yeah.
gelatinous cube.
Follow us
What
now.
the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, I figured that out. Yeah, someone texted us.
Yeah.
Friend phone. I got my hashtags for the stream were.
Okay. I believe we are back again. I don't know. We probably never left. We never left you, baby. So Ben the Kid and the _ Fonzie93. You will be receiving some amazing dice trays, dice, stickers, buttons, and our appreciation for following us. Also, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think this was great. This was awesome. We got through our first stream. No one
died yet.
No one died.
Yet.
No one died.
No more fingerprints.
That's true.
But yeah, I think that's a great first session. Please feel free, tune in next week, 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. I think everybody's on the East Coast anyway. Eastern Standard Time. We will be here live. A Vaceran Dream. Also, next Saturday, myself, this gentleman here, William, this young lady here, Amber, will be doing our Race You to 20 show. It's a little something we like to do to show you that we know how to play Dungeons and Dragons. I really don't. I just stand behind her, or sit behind her because it's fun. But please, Tune in next Saturday. We'll be live at 8 o'clock. And next Sunday, we'll be live at 4 o'clock. But thank you again, and welcome to A Vaceran Dream. Please be kind to each other. And don't forget, adventure is for the bold.
It is.
Yeah.